effective way that contains to log in or sign up to your Figma account. That is very necessary because all the workshop activities are going to be held on a tool, and we are going to use Figma for this workshop. You can use any tool. Tool is just a tool. We are the designers. We are the, you can say, brain, whatever we are going to do. And then there is a Marvel app where you can prototype your whatever the designs you make. And just forget about the link to install Zoom. We are doing it on Meet, as you can see. But first of all, tell, am I audible? Anyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
You are
sir.
audible.
Okay. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Nishan Singh, third year from IIIT Surat, and I've been doing this UI UX stuff for more than 6 months, and I will be here to help Anudeep sir. Yeah, sure. I'm sharing the link again. Make sure you have all the requirements. If you are having any problem with it, logging into the Figma, or you are not able to sign up to Sigma, there are 3 workbooks. In the workbook 2, you don't need to do anything much, but go on to the page number 12, which contains task 2. Use the Marvel app, download it to quickly take photos. Don't do anything. Sir will tell you what to do. You just download the Marvel app, available on Play Store or iOS. If someone is using iPhone, they can download from Play Store. Put a thumbs up on chat box if you are done with all the work that is given in that link. Yes. Figma Mirror is like, if you have anything made on Figma, you can just directly view it on your mobile, Android phone, or whatever it is, to how it looks in actual device. Like you have created a screen, like a screen login screen for a Android app you are creating. So you in the Figma app itself, you can view it, but you don't get the feeling how it would look on an actual device. So Figma Mirror just do one thing. You download Figma Mirror, and in the Figma app, you when you just play that screen, it will appear on your Android phone or iOS phone itself, and it will show you how your design actually looks on the device. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nishan.
Yeah. Anyone else who has any problem with this software? Earlier we used to have Figma Mirror, and nowadays Figma has created a different app, Figma app itself, and it has a lot more usability, and you can do much more things than that Figma Mirror. Figma Mirror was just used to view your actual designs on your actual phone. Like when okay. those who have joined just now, there is a link in chat box. There are multiple links. Just links like signing up to your Figma account, downloading Figma Mirror app. Figma Mirror app is a Android and iOS app that helps you view your designs to an actual phone. You can see your designs on an actual phone and how would it look on a phone. You can view it with the before developing it. And then there is a Marvel app. These are not must, but you should do all these things so that you can effectively participate in the workshop. Like you will have to do some work tasks. You will be given some tasks. You will have to complete it. And one thing must be shared with you, that if a task will be given to you, and if you complete that, only then you will be having a certificate of this workshop. Will be duly signed by Anudeep sir.
Yeah, hey Prakash.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, when will it gonna start, bro?
Yeah, we will start
Yeah,
very
hey
soon.
Prakash.
We have sent the link for some installation guides. Yeah, hello. Once we are done with
When
that,
will it
we will
gonna
start
start, bro?
the workshop. Yeah,
Okay,
we will
cool.
start
Yeah,
very
hey
soon.
Prakash.
We have sent the link for some installation guides. Yeah, hello. Once
Have
we
you
are done
received
with
when
that,
will
we
it
will
gonna
start
start, bro?
the workshop. Have you gone through that? Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
will start
Hey,
very soon.
Prakash.
We have sent the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very
Hey,
soon. We can
Prakash.
know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop, please send thumbs up in the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will start very soon. We can know that you are done the link for some installation guys. Once we are done that installation, the workshop.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have to install Marvel in like on mobile or
in mobile.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
both
we
Figma and Marvel are for mobile actually. Either you are on Android or
Figma
iOS.
Mirror and Marvel app is for mobile.
yeah, but we have to sign in in PC or not? Just we have to install an app in Marvel app in our phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Nishant, can you share that Notion link again in the chat box? People are asking for it.
Nishant,
Yes.
what is the Marvel app exactly? I have installed the Figma Mirror app,
Yep.
like tool.
Figma Mirror, oh, that Marvel app is used to have your prototypes. Like when you draw something on your phone, uh, not on your phone actually, on your notebook or something, you take the pictures from that, and then that Marvel app converts it into I guess
Prototype.
no, not prototype actually. A wireframe. It converts it into a wireframe, I guess. And Anudeep sir will be telling more about it. I don't use Marvel app for my things. Actually, everything is now done in Figma only. Figma has introduced a lot of stuffs in their journey. Earlier, we used to do things in multiple apps, like some we used to do in Marvel and some used to do in Adobe XD also. But Figma has evolved a lot.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Suraj, have you talked with sir? He's coming.
Yeah, he's just having some power issues. He's joining just 2 more minutes. Just
Oh,
wait.
okay. Marvel app actually changes your wireframes and designs into interactive pieces. You can interact with your designs through Marvel app. I got to know just now. Thanks for asking that question.
Got it.
So guys, Anudeep sir had joined us. So I am starting the session now. Okay. Anudeep sir,
Hey,
can you hear us?
yes.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. I had some difficulty coming here. Just give me a minute. Just
Okay.
calm down. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry
Till then,
for-
I will introduce my the audience with you.
Sure, definitely. Please do that. I'll just switch on my camera in a minute. Please get started. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
So hello everyone, a warm welcome from behalf of GDSC IIIT Surat. Myself, Suraj Sisodia, lead of this club. Being a only developer club of this institute, our motto is always simple and straightforward: to develop a community of developers. For that, we have planned a series of events like workshops, uh, speaker session, cool hackathons, and here we are, our first ever event of this series. Perspective of UI and UX. So I hand over to Haley. He can introduce more.
Yeah,
She
thank
can.
you, Suraj. Good evening, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure on behalf of the Google Developer Students Club, IIIT Surat, to extend a very warm welcome to all of you present here. I hope you all find this workshop highly engaging and fruitful. We'd also like to welcome Mr. Sachin Patel as the faculty advisor for GDSC IIIT Surat. Well, the tech plus design industry is bound to grow exponentially over the next several years, continuously creating huge demand for UI UX designers. UI UX design is consistently rated as a top career. This is the best time to make your move. So take the first step with us to deep dive into the perspectives of UI UX. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the speaker for today's session, Mr. Anudeep Ayagari. Mr. Anudeep is a UX designer at Amazon and has trained around 10,000 plus UX enthusiasts via workshops. He is passionate about problem solving, creating user-centric design, and compelling visual storytelling. Indeed, he is the go-to guy for a product manager to get everything done, from user research to prototype. We're extremely grateful to have him as the guest speaker for the evening. That's it from my side. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Anudeep to share his experience and knowledge. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. Just waiting for my camera to get switched on. Yep. I think you can see me now.
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Yep. Awesome. Hey, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to this session. Very happy to do this hands-on session. Really sorry for the delay. There was a huge rain and all these things. I don't want to make it sound like excuses, but really very sorry for the delay. But I hope we'll kind of cover up all that with a great session right now. Okay. Also I heard there's some faculty also joining along with us. So thank you very much for extending the invite to us. Yeah. So unless you have anything else, I can also get started. Do you have anything else which you have planned for the introduction, or should I start the session?
No, sir, we are done for. You can start.
Yes. Okay, great. Awesome. So what we'll do is, let me have as many people as possible on video so that, we can have this session as a very interactive one. Okay. Come on. How many people do we have in this session? I can see around 76 people, I guess.
91 it is.
Yeah. Great.
It's 91.
Around 91 people. Great. Okay, that's good. You might find me looking a little bit down whenever I'm speaking. I know whenever I kind of see whoever is there on camera. So you'll get used to that. Okay, great. So also I hope there is a chat. Yep. So all of you, I hope most of you, where are you guys from? Can you just type it on the chat where are you guys from? Where are you all from? Okay, you're having some Surat, Ayodhya, Mumbai, Vadodara, Hyderabad. Is it pronounced as Vadodara or Vadodara? What's the right pronunciation of it? Prayagraj. And people can speak. I mean, if you are,
it's Vadodara, sir. It's Vadodara.
Vadodara. Okay, great. Jaipur, Lucknow, and all. Great, awesome. So, so just to get an idea of, I'm assuming most of you are IIIT students. Am I right? Or do we have a mix and match of a lot of places, or most of you are IIIT students here? Or IIIT and a few other colleges, right?
It's a lot of mix.
Oh, okay, great. From what backgrounds do we have people here? You can also put it on the chat, What's your background? Is it all engineering, or if it is within engineering, what is your discipline? Okay, I see a lot of EC, CSE, and all these things. That's great to hear. Okay. Computer science, EC, and all. Okay, great. Awesome. So one more question I want to ask is, how many of you, just to so I understand that how I can make this session directed towards, what I want to ask you is, how many of you want to learn UX design versus, or you can tell me, answer in terms of, yes, I want to learn UX design, or I want to pursue a career in UX design, or I want to understand what UX design is so that I can decide whatever I want to become, or I've decided that I'll do something, I'll become a programmer, whatever, but I still want to just know what UX design is. So out of all this, can I just see from the crowd how each person is relating themselves with UX design? In the chat, please. Third one, okay, that's like the easiest way to answer the questions. Like, sir has given 4 options, so let him remember what the third one is. You can type in whatever, there are people who want to explore UX, want to study UX design, just to know what it is. That's great. I just want to understand, want to learn, career. Awesome. Want to learn. Okay, want to get introduced into UX design, problem solving, use it, and all these things. Great, awesome. So that's great. So we have a mix of people, but I hope all all the people over here have a little interest about, okay, what the, is UX design, and how does it even, how can I maybe merge my path along with it or not? Most of you, I guess, are in an exploratory stage with UX design. You've been hearing this term all over the place, a lot of jazz around UX design, right? So, yeah, like someone is saying, it sounds very fascinating to me and I want to learn about it and all these things. Great, awesome. Okay, so before we get there, before we do anything else, what I want you to do is, I want more people to be on video now for this activity. I'm going to start with a small activity. I just want to know, is there anyone who has attended any one of my previous workshops till now? It's fine. If there is no one else, it's fine, because the content is going to be very similar, because it's not that I'm going to teach something very different every time about UX design. Okay, no problem. Great. Okay, so come on. I really want minimum 20 people to be on video for this. Come on, be on video. Whatever you're doing, maybe you're just having snacks, you're just lying on your bed, or you're just holding a mobile phone, doing your evening walk. Whatever you're doing, that's fine. Just be on video and let me count 20. Once getting used to Google Meet, I've done all my classes and workshops in Zoom. I can definitely see a lot of changes in Google Meet. Okay, fine. As people keep coming on their camera. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I want you to, all of you, okay, find a nearest switch, okay, a switch, okay, and switch it on and off 3 times, but do it very carefully. Like, observe everything, whatever you're doing, right? Right from you getting up to everything, just observe it very carefully and go and switch on and off a switch for 3 times, unless yours is a Wi-Fi bulb which will get a reset and all. But if that's the case, do it with a fan or whatever, right? So come on, go ahead, show it to me on camera, observe it. You don't have to do like tut, 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 and then done, not like that. Observe it carefully, what you're trying to do, everything, please observe, because I'm going to ask you a set of questions from there, right? And all those people who are wondering, did I join a workshop, a wrong workshop or something? Don't worry, this is all related to UX design. We'll get there, okay? So, okay. Do I see people switching on and off their switches? I see people switching on and off their cameras. So actually, that's not what I meant, but if it's a light or fan, okay, awesome, great. Okay, so so I want all of you to be very active on chat to answer some of the questions which I'm going to ask right now. Very easy questions. Okay, the first question is, how did you know how to switch on or off a switch? How did you know about this? On the chat, come on, just think and tell me, how is it that you know how to switch on and off a switch? That's it. All you have to use is your common sense. Don't use your triple-AT brains, please. Just use your common sense and give me a simple answer. Okay? You've seen people doing that, okay, by observing others, okay, doing it right from a childhood, give me a simple answer. My parents and all these things. I'm saying patterns, whatever, okay, observations, trial and error, doing it the first time, okay. 2 patterns, either switch on or off, great. Switches are meant for it, interesting. Observation, all these things, okay, awesome, nothing wrong, very simple, straightforward answer, right? I mean, it's a switch and you've been observing right from your childhood and all these things. Great, okay, keep this answer to yourself. The next question I want to ask is, how did you know if the switch is already on or maybe off, but mostly it is on because your light should be on. How did you know if the switch is already on? Come on. Fan was working, interesting. Shape was uneven or whatever. The device is working, okay. Someone said convention. Sorry, I don't understand that language. I don't know what convention means. So the light was on. That's right. Laptop was on charge. Okay. More. Come on. Common sense. Think like a kid. Okay. Just go back to being a kindergarten kid, maybe. Right. Just think and tell me an answer. Your mind is telling you psychologically that's narrow from bottom. Wow. Okay. The word psychologically is something which is interesting me a lot. So we'll have to talk about it, Pragnya, sometime. But yeah, performing the action. Okay. The word psychologically is something which is trying to say, hey, you know what? The light is on, or, you know, I can see the position of the switch and I can definitely tell that it is an on or not. Like, let us say I show you a switch over here, and if I ask you, hey, is the light on or off? I think most of you can answer, right? If the switch is in on position or off position, most of you can answer, unless you are like, oh, you know, it depends if it's a relay switch, there's a two-way switch. If that is off, they should be off, and all these things, right? Unless it is, all of you can generally tell if it's an on or not, right? Okay. The last question I want to ask is, how did you even know if it is a switch or not? How did you identify that it's a switch? How did you even identify that whatever you're operating with is a switch? Because the moment I ask you to turn on a switch and switch off, all of you instantaneously did, like, what stupid things you're asking, right? Instantly you did it, right? How did you even know? We saw all the switches like that. Amazing, right? We were told, okay. Someone came to Avinash and said, Avinash, this is a switch. Took a class, right? Just kidding, maybe. Yeah? Because it looked like one. Yeah? TV ads. Okay? Gopi Chand, there was a TV ad about switching on switches. This is called a switch. Okay? Wait a minute, just think simple, guys. Just think simple. These questions are very stupid. I'm telling you, these questions are very stupid. The answers can be very stupid. These are very stupid questions, right? Now, I'm not going to disprove that these questions are stupid. The questions are really stupid. I'm not trying to disprove that. Okay? They're very familiar. Okay? Awesome. Okay. So I've asked you these very stupid questions about switches, right? I asked you, how do you know if the light is on or the switch is on, right? How do you even identify if it has a switch and all these things, right? So all of you answered in a very obvious manner. All of you have told me very simple and straightforward answers with common sense, right? Now let me ask a question. Have you observed that it was so obvious to use a switch, right? Did anyone of you have to think so much about how to switch on a switch, or how to identify a switch, or whether if it is on or off or anything? None of you had to think. It was so natural. It was so obvious. It was so stupid to literally make it a task to switch on a switch or even identify a switch, right? So don't you agree that it might have taken a genius to make sure that a switch was so obvious to use? How many of you agree? Say genius on the chat. If you realize that it would have taken a genius, because when I asked you to switch on a switch, how did you guys switch on the switch? Did you use your finger, or did you go and use your entire hand and do like this? Or did you use your leg? You didn't do all this, right? You just switched on with your finger. It was so obvious, right? So don't you think the person or the people who have made the switch are geniuses, who thought about every aspect? Hey, you know what, if a person has to switch on a switch, they don't have to think so much about switching it on. All they have to do is just do it with the finger. The most easily interactable manner, just with a finger they'll do, right? Your switch is not so big that you have to use your entire both palms. It's not like that big door which you will have, you have to press and go to the exit doors you'll have, right? It's not like that, right? It's just the size of your finger, right? And you also observe wherever you see a switch, it is almost like that, right? Maybe the colors or whatever, but you immediately can recognize a switch is a switch. It is so simple, right? So now if you really see, a switch, as stupid as a switch, has actually been designed in such a way that it is very, very, very obvious and easy for us to use, that even a very small kid, even 1 year old, my son, when he was 1 year old, he himself understood how to use switches. Nobody had to tell him to use, right? Even that's how easy using a switch is, right? Now, Now I think all of you are trying to get a perspective, because all of you kind of have a little idea about what UX design is about. All of you, you've been having an experience with switching on, switching off, and using appliances and all these things right from your childhood, and your experience has been catered to in a very, very satisfactory manner. None of you had problems about not able to switch on a switch, right? You had electricity problems, or you had a switch not working problem, but none of you had a problem with the fact that switching on a switch has to be so difficult that you have to change the position of the switch. None of you had a problem with it, right? So therefore, if you had an experience because of a switch, it would have taken that genius to actually make it in such a way that is so easy for you. And that is the beauty of UX design. You, the person, whoever is there, you have been using it right from your childhood or whatever, or everyone has been using it, and you are having a very good experience with it. That means someone has actually made it in such a way that you have a very good experience with it. And this whole thing, whatever this genius has done to make the switch in such an easy manner for you to use, is the person who can be called as a user experience designer. You get the perspective? I've completely zoomed it out of any digital screens or this and all these things, just so that you can understand what your experience means and what a user means. Because if you have to break it, if you break UX design, it's simply two terms: user and experience, right? It doesn't speak about screens, or it doesn't speak about animations or anything. It just says user and experience, right? So if you zoom yourself completely out, you understand that all it takes is, what do I do to actually make an experience so that people or users can use it, right? Do you all get this perspective? If you get this perspective, say UX in the chat, come on, so that you have literally got it into your brain that I know everything else about what I understood about what UX design is, but the perspective right now I'll carry is user, and I'm having an experience, and whatever is done to take such simple things like a switch or whatever, I'm going to tell more example. All this is nothing but UX, user experience, right? Okay, let me give one more example, a digital example, right? How many of you, the question about how many of you is a bad thing. All of you are there in WhatsApp. I don't think there is anyone who might have uninstalled WhatsApp and joined Telegram and all. Even if that is the case, that's not a problem. But all of you exactly know when a message has been sent, when a message has been received, and when a message has been read, right? How do you know all this? How do you know the message has been sent, received, or been read? The ticks, yeah, one tick, two ticks, blue ticks, yeah, the color of the ticks, right? Just with the color of the ticks and with the number of the ticks, WhatsApp is able to tell you so much information. Hey, you know what? Your message has been sent. Hey, you know what? It's not even disturbing you, right? It's communicating to you in such an amazing manner, just by the color of the ticks. And it's not so irritating, right? Because let us say if WhatsApp had to just go and say, hey, you know what? Your message has been sent. And again, when the message has been received, hey, you know what? Your message has been received. Hey, you know what? The message has been read. If WhatsApp kept on sending a notification like this, it would have been so irritating, right? In a very interesting manner, in a very simple manner, you still are getting immediate, I should say, always consumable information. It's not that you are going to ignore that. You always are checking whether you are getting a blue tick or not. In fact, a lot of people get a heart attack if they don't get a blue tick back, right? So, in such a simple thing as a tick, if someone is able to communicate so much about what's happening around and they're giving an experience, it again had to take a genius to do that, right? All of you get the perspective, right? So now that you understand a physical and a digital perspective about this whole magic, right? All of you have this question about, hey, Anudeep, this kind of excites me about understanding what is this magic, which you're calling it magic, but for me, it just looks obvious. What is there? I would have myself come up with an idea that, we'll use one tick, two ticks, or four ticks, or whatever it is. I don't think it's such a magic and all. It's obvious. So let us get into understanding about how can we do this obvious magic, which all of us think is very obvious, right? So with this perspective, let's enter a little bit into what UX design and how can you learn UX design and all these things, right? Guys, are you excited now about the perspective about what UX design is, right? Are you excited about it? Shall we move forward? Yep. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so just give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen in a bit. Okay, so just a second, guys. I've been sweating also. All this last minute, I could have been much more prepared. I do have the sharing permission, right? Yes. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I think we have like just the limit of Google Meet, so I will leave and you can try share again.
Limit what limit? I'm able to share. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
I am sure you're able to see my screen now. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. Okay. I totally wish I could do all this on Zoom because they're much better things over here. Anyway, so let's get back. Okay, now all of you might be thinking, okay, awesome. Anudeep, can you please introduce us to this magic, whatever magic you're talking about, right? So I want to really understand why is it that UX designers are so valuable today, and why is everyone, having that craze about becoming a UX designer? And can you please introduce me to it, right? So let me give you one perspective about what is that which is happening, why UX designers are very valuable, and how is that you can also become a valuable UX designer, a high performing, high earning UX designer, and what is the right mix which is actually taking to get over here, right? So, but even before I speak about what's obviously there on the slide, let me give you an idea about why the field of UX design, or why product designers are really getting that heat right now, right? So I'll first of all call everything as UX designers, UX design for now. There are multiple ways to call it, product designers, interactions and all. I'll get back to that maybe when I take questions. But for now, I'm going to address all of this as UX design and UX designers, right? So why this heat, right? So you have to observe one thing, that a lot of products these days, a lot of products which are being using these days, right, have been taking opportunities from whatever you are using in a daily basis, and they have been simplifying what you're trying to do, and they're trying to provide an experience and basically make a business out of it, right? For example, very obvious examples are the daily apps which you use. I'm taking the digital examples, like let's say Swiggy, right? You are going to a restaurant and trying to have food over there, or you might have to call a restaurant and someone has to deliver that food or whatever. That was something which was there previously, which was very difficult, and they have made it very simple by offering a service to you that you can just simply go and order your food and just it reach your home, right? So a daily activity like ordering food has been very much simplified for you so that you can actually have a better experience, right? Or let us say take a cab ride as well. If you have to take that example, right, you had to go to a road and maybe stop a cab or whatever. Instead of doing all that today, you just simply can order a cab directly, right, from sitting wherever you are, right? So a lot of experience has been simplified for you, right? Now, if experiences which you are having on a daily basis have been simplified, and if you are able to have better experiences, you need to understand that there are a lot of things which have to be made sure that they happen in a right manner to exactly give you an experience where you're so seamlessly able to do it, right? For example, let's say you had to book a cab. That's great, but to go and reach the cab, you had to go and basically travel or walk to a certain place, and then only you can go and reach the cabs. The cab would not really come to your house. Let us say it wouldn't really work out for you. You wouldn't really book a cab, right? Or let us say you booked a cab, but there is no way to communicate with the driver it might not work out for you. In this way, there are a lot of things which have to be thought about. How is it that I can make the cab reach the place? How is it that I can make sure that the person is ready for the cab driver? How can I make sure that the person can communicate to the cab driver? How can I make sure that the destination is clearly entered? If the money transactions are going, if so many things have to be taken care, right? For a person's experience to be seamless, there needs to be a lot of brains thinking about all these things and fine-tuning everything so that you can have a very beautiful experience. How many of you agree with that? Don't you agree that it takes a lot of brains, it takes a lot of thinking and all these things to actually provide this seamless experience? Because anything which doesn't work, immediately we are ready to go and give a complaint, right? We literally go and bash on Twitter or whatever that, you know what, Uber kept me waiting for 30 minutes. I lost, like whatever. I had to be a meeting, I missed the meeting or whatever. There's so, any small thing which doesn't happen, we are so frustrated about not having that experience. That means a lot of brains have worked to create an experience in that manner, right? So if you have seen that, to do all these things, all these brains are required. And if these brains are being used, in the end, there is a very good experience which is being provided, because of which an entire business and an industry itself has come out, right? Because of this very reason, the whole industry is seeing simplifying experiences as great opportunities for doing a lot of businesses. And for simplifying experiences, you need all these brains, these product managers, UX designers, these developers, and all these things. And therefore, all of these fields are coming into that boom, right? Because these people are thinkers, these people are problem solvers who are actually simplifying these experiences and providing those seamless solutions to you. And it requires a genius brain, and therefore they are in demand, right? Okay, now that you understood that perspective, I'm just going to see the chat, because if you agree, say agree on the chat. I'll keep checking my chat here, okay? But anyway, now, hey Anudeep, I want to be this valuable. You're calling it as a genius, right? So looks like maybe I'm not that person. I don't really think I'm a genius or anything. I'm a normal person. I'd be thinking that, okay? But there obviously is a way to actually figure out whether we can go in that path or not, right? Because what I believe is, maybe you start thinking like, hey, you know what, I'm not this genius and all these things. But what really happens is, we might be a very good fit for something, and we might be not a good fit for something. We have to really understand where is that we can really be in that very right fit. I'll speak about that being in a right fit later, but it doesn't really have to take a very textbook way to actually become that genius. It all is about figuring out what is the right way of doing it, and is it natural for me or not, right? Okay, so coming back to this slide, today, what is that valuable and high performing UX designers are doing which is making them so valuable? Let us understand that. And what we'll try to do is try and see and do a little backwards from what they are doing today, so that we can ourselves become valuable UX designers, or understand how to become valuable UX designers. Because what's the fun in becoming a normal UX designer which nobody values, right? Such a person doesn't exist. But even if, why just become a non-valuable person? Become a very valuable person and a highly earning and highly valuable person, right? Okay, the first and foremost thing which a lot of UX designers primarily do is designing for users. Forget the word design over there, but users. You have been hearing this word user, which I've proved you with the Switch example, which the WhatsApp example or Uber or whatever. I've been continuously telling stories in such a way that you relate that things have been made easy for you guys, right? Or for all of us. User. That's the first and foremost very important thing. UX designers do a bunch of things to understand these users, to create things for these users, to go and get feedback from these users, right? And also make sure businesses always are in communication with these users, right? A bunch of activities around connecting and understanding users is one very important thing, right? So note this down. You might keep hearing this word as user as a cliche right now, but you need to understand the perspective, right? That yes, users, everything is centered over that. If they are not able to use any product, if it's not easier for them, none of this makes sense. The business doesn't make sense. None of this. There cannot be a very complicated training to go and use that product. If there is a very complicated training to how to use a Switch, you wouldn't properly use it, right? Or WhatsApp, you wouldn't actually properly use it, right? So it doesn't work out, right? So user. That's one of the most important things which UX designers do, right? Okay, fine, establish. What else? What else? It's not that I will always only make my users' life better, but that kind of also can make me a charitable person, right? I want to care about everyone, so I'm making all these products and all these things so that people can benefit out of it, and yeah, by which I'm doing charity. It's not like that, right? It's because there is an opportunity to actually solve a problem, because of which there is a business over there. Because you need a cab, someone is willing to offer you a service of providing a cab to you, and they're trying to charge you. Therefore, businesses are very important, and businesses do exist, right? And therefore, a very, very important job of what a UX designer does is also giving businesses the impact they need, right? That means whatever a UX design is doing with these users, getting whatever things from the users, the magic which they're doing, they need to finally go and give an impact to the business. The business has to grow. In whatever terms they want it to grow, the business has to grow. You got it? A very simple equation, all of you. If you go and create value for a business, the business will value back in return. Do you agree or not? Say agree on the chat, right? As a person, forget about a field, forget about UX design or whatever. The amount of value which you go and create for a business, that much amount of value which the business is going to give back to you, right? Obviously, it's also depending upon how many people are available and how replaceable you are to actually go and get that value from you, right? But other than that, it is simply value. You have to generate value so that you can be valued in return, right? So a very, very important part of what a UX designer does is about creating the impact for businesses, right? Via doing things for users, right? Note it down. Do you all agree? Let me just see the chat. Yep. Oh, I see a lot of agrees, right? Awesome. Great. Now, to do all these things, it's not that we just keep speaking words and we're like, yeah, we care about users, and we're like, hey, we care about businesses. Not like that, right? We are not babas. We do stuff, right? So you have to do all these things somewhere. So you need the right tools to actually do something and create things for your users, to actually understand your users and actually go and create that business impact. You need those tools, and you need to be good in those tools to actually be a very impactful and high earning UX designer, right? Do you all agree? Right? Because you're not just going to sit and talk saying that, yeah, you know what, if Swiggy had this feature, then it will work. Nobody has value, right? It's not just about thinking about the user or understanding what they need. Execute that, hey, you know what, this is a feature which has to work, and this has to be executed and finally be delivered to the user. Then only the experience is delivered, right? So tools are the medium which you use to actually go and deliver these experiences, and therefore you need to be good in those tools as well, right? So this, whatever is that secret sauce, what a UX designer does, right? Now I just try and stop sharing my screen for once. So time to reflect on yourselves. I've shown you 3 things. Hey, things about users, things about business, and on top of time to reflect. Hey, am I someone who naturally can start thinking in terms of, I'm giving a switch example, right? If you are naturally thinking about things like, you know what, why is a switch only like this? Why should a switch be on the top of the board? Why can't it be in the bottom? Whatever. If you are a person who naturally can start thinking, hey, you know what, this is a very difficult way to do it. Let me actually make it an easy way. Why isn't there an easy way of doing this? If you're a person who keeps getting these thoughts, then you are one person who can pick the first thing that, hey, you know what, I will love those things which whatever I'm trying to do for users, right? If you are someone who can already relate with it, say, let me change this thing. I don't want you to keep saying agree and all. Say user on the chat. Yeah, users on the chat. If you already can relate, trying to think like this, that, hey, you know what, this can be made better. This can be easier. Yeah, I don't want to put so much effort. Yeah, why the F are these people doing it this manner, right? If you are someone who keep relating in that manner, right? We not know UX design, you don't have touch, sketch or Figma, anything in your life, but if you just have these feelings that it could have been done in a better manner, say users in the chat, you can already take the first thing, right? Awesome, right? Okay, the next thing is about businesses, right? can you relate yourself of going and impacting businesses? Not just, what someone should just tell me what I should do, but I want to go and identify those things which can actually bring in huge business, also by providing value to users, right? If you are someone who can relate very much that, hey, I really want to play this game. I just don't want to simply do whatever others are telling, but not that I'm pressing it in a wrong manner. What I'm trying to say is, are you ready to play that game so that you balance out what is valuable and present it to a business and say, hey, what, by creating this value, you can go and do and get business out of this. Are you a person who can relate with this? Say business on the chat. Come on. If you are a person who can relate that, hey, what, I can do a bunch of things and I can be this, I'll not use the word creative here, but I'll try and use, I have this urge, what, I can create more value than this. When you keep seeing things, you're not just worried about it can be done better, but you're like, I can create much better value than this. You're someone who can relate with that. Say business in the chat, right? You can do the second tick as well, right? The third thing, which we most probably all of us will have ticks, because at least because of the kind of crowd which is here, is if you have used Microsoft Paint, Word, PowerPoint. Hey, why is no one on camera? I'm just observing now. Just be on video, guys. Come on, be on video. Yep. So if you've used any of these softwares from your childhood, and if you nobody had to teach you how to use Word, PowerPoint, or Paint and all these things, right? If it was very natural for you, and it's like, yeah, I'm a self-learner when it comes to tools. I just need to get that perspective and I can go ahead. If you relate to yourself with that, then you can do the third tick as well, right? And there are people typing in tick as well, but you can say tool on the chat, right? So if you have these three ticks, you are someone who can relate yourself with doing those improvements for users, generating value for businesses, and see yourself naturally learning tools. Then, my friends, you should definitely try UX design. I'm telling you, right? If these are natural, forget about what others are doing, what screens they're doing, what amazing things you're seeing on their dribbles, Behances, or whatever. Forget all those things. Do you fundamentally think like this or not? If you can, then you have to go and try UX design. It might work out for you. If you don't relate with this, then don't worry. It might not work out for you. You can go and find something else. If you're not like someone who naturally keep thinking like, yeah, it's fine, yeah, switch to hair, I'm not really worried about whether it's on the top, bottom, or all these things. If you have someone who thinks like that, that's fine. Maybe this will not really interest you very much, right? And either ways, understanding, getting a clarity about what kind of a person you are will definitely help you going into this field. Because as UX designer, it will only work if you absolutely love what you're doing, or else it won't work. It cannot be done like, if 5 people can build a wall in 2 days, how much time will it take for 10 people to build? UX design is not that field. It cannot be done like this, right? It will only work with those 5 people who absolutely enjoy building that wall. Only then those ideas will come. Only then they can understand users. It cannot be done otherwise. And for those 5 people, it's very easy, right? And that's the beauty about UX design. It's very easy for those people who are doing it and loving it, right? It's very difficult for those people who are not able to enjoy it and they eventually fail out, right? Okay, I've given enough of these gyan to all of you, so that all of you can get the right perspectives about what UX design is, instead of me going and telling about all those textbook definitions of UX design, which you can obviously Google and get all these things, right? Instead of telling all that, I wanted to speak about something which is very close to what you guys can relate to. And that's why I've given all this gyan, right? I hope all of you got this very good perspective about UX design and whether you should try and explore this field or not. Are you with me? Yep. Awesome. Okay, now what we'll do is, instead of talking more of a gyan, right? What I'll try to address right now is, Anudeep, you're talking about all these switch and all these things. So, I really am that person who keep getting these ideas, right? hey, this would have been better, that would have been better, and all these things. But what really happens is my ideas just stay as ideas, and next day I forget, and they'll go. I'm not able to take a step forward, right? How is it that I can take a step forward with my ideas and go and make sure that I can go and build it and execute it? Because you have been telling that finally an experience has to be delivered, it has to be executed. It's not just about just me randomly having ideas, right? I want to take this forward and try it out. What can I do? So what we'll do is, with an exercise which we're going to do right now, we are going to create something, okay, which I'll explain to you, okay, so that you will understand how to get started, okay. So before I go further, I just want to ask, have you circulated that sheet by any chance, Nishant? That PDF?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Can you just send it to me as well here?
Yeah.
I only have the full one. I don't have the one you might have circulated. Okay.
Sir, you can check it on WhatsApp. I sent you the second PDF and.
Sure. What we'll do is, okay, all of you, please get a pen and paper, pencil, whatever, on at your desk or whatever you're there, right? Just get it. Come on. And be on video as much as possible. From now onwards, we're going to have a very interactive session. Interactive in the sense, it will be interactive. It was interactive. It'll also be some work from your side as well, right? Because it's a hands-on session or a workshop rather than just a class or a talk. Okay, that's fine. I am sharing my I'm sharing my screen. I hope you all can see this in front of your screen. Okay. So, sorry. This is the next step. Okay, we'll get to the next step, but just have the PDF with you. We'll get to that in the second step. But okay. So all of you have these pen and paper with you. Yeah. Come on, video. I want you to show it. It's a very interactive activity, right? Hey, Nishant, there was this, before this, there was nothing else in that PDF.
No, sir, it was like page number 12 of that PDF.
There was some steps about making a radio.
No, sir, it was not there.
Not there?
No.
Just see page 11. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What I want you to do is, switch on your video and let me give you a task, a small task. Okay, what you have to do is, imagine that you have to make an app for radio. Okay, a radio. Okay, you have been hearing radio and all, like might have heard. Maybe now you might not be hearing, but from whatever knowledge you have about radio, I want you to make few screens on paper with whatever worst drawing skills you have. Don't even need to have any great drawing skills. I want you to make minimum 2 screens of a radio app. Okay, what I want you to do is draw one screen where a station is being played and some controls to control that, right? And there should be something which should be clickable on the screen, where you can maybe just click and see a list of possible stations, and that opens a screen where there are a list of stations, right? A simple task. What I want you to do is go rough. Don't do it on a digital thing, just on paper. Okay, just go and draw some screens and then show it to me on the video over here. Okay. Come on. I want you to be on video. I want more people here. See, even all the people who are on the call over here, and even if until now you might have slept or whatever, you didn't understand anything, don't worry. You don't have to do anything until now to actually go and do this exercise. It's very simple. Okay. You can just freshly start. You're like, okay, this guy is calling. You can just wake up and start doing this. Okay. Come on, guys. Come on, video. Hey, Nishan, don't. This is the entire. We're not going to cover everything in this workshop. We don't have that much time.
Yeah, okay, got it, sir.
But what we can definitely do is, guys, you can do one thing. Please download the first workbook over here. The same link, whatever Nishant has sent over here. You can go and download the workbook. Just put that link, Nishant, instead of all these instructions and all these things. Just put that link over here. People can download that workbook one.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. But that's fine. Even if whatever they're doing right now is also fine. We don't have time to do all that right now. Okay. It's a bigger workshop. Okay. So come on your screens, not on your screens. I mean, to say, on your video. But get a paper, pencil, or a pen. Just make minimum 2 screens. You can make more as well. And just be creative. It's okay. Whatever you think can be done, you can do. Okay. Switch. Okay, so forget about the workbook one and all. Okay, all I want you to do is open your paper. Come on, guys. Yup, we have Zaid, Harshal, Manish, and Nishant, and Avanish on video here. Okay, Manish, what do you have? Do you have something? Harshal, it's fine. If you're take your time, no worries. Take your time, try and draw. And let me give you something. Hey, hi Mohit. Mohit is also on camera. You can be very imperfect. It need not be perfect. I'm not going to judge you and give you a grade out of it, right? In fact, I'm going to, give an appreciation to the most imperfect design over there, right? Okay, we have Akshat as well on camera. Great. Okay. Okay, we have Zaid trying and having something on the screen. Okay, great. Back off next, some 98.3 and all these things. Okay, great. Gopi Chand. Yes, Gopi Chand. Yup. Okay, awesome. Yup. We also have Drumi showing. Drumi, make one more screen. Try and make one more screen. Minimum 2. You can also make more. Okay, we also have Ayush. Interesting, Ayush. Okay. Others, no. Ayush, just show whatever you have done. Others, just draw that also. That's fine. And you can copy also, right? You can also open an existing radio app and also copy if you want, right? Just get your hand moving. Wow, this guy has done it on a big board, white board. There's no limit. It's like See, Anudeep did not tell you have to just make it on a screen. It should look for a mobile or all these things. No, it can be a big player, which is like a TV. But that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Rishabh also has something interesting over here. Awesome. Manish also has it. Great. Awesome. Okay. Enough. Okay. The reason I've asked you to do this exercise is, apart from me connecting my charger and all these things, literally how much time did it take for you to actually get something in your brain, which is something rough, whatever you know about how a radio should work, you just got it on a paper over there, right? It just literally took 2 to 3 minutes, right? Nothing more. You know what? This is all it takes to actually get started, right? I'll view the beauty of it even more. So what I want you to do is, all of you go and open Marvel app on your phone, right? Go and open Marvel app on your phone. And after this, I'll tell you even more beautiful points. So you don't even have to log in. Marvel app, just install the app on your phone, right? So all you need to do is, if there is this a plus button or whatever, and depending upon your OS, I have my Android phone also here, but if someone can just show as you're doing, it will be very nice for others. Nishant, if you have Marvel on your phone, yeah, that's great. Someone, Manish, is trying to show. Just click on that, whatever. What does it say? I'm not able to read it. Manish.
Create your new project.
Yep, just click on create your new project. Everyone follow what Manish is doing. Or you can also follow this. Yep. Once you click on the create a new project, I can share my screen from there onwards. One second. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen as well. Once you click on the create your new project, you do not have to log in or anything. Okay, you can just select this whatever phone, just give in some name, my first prototype, this, that, sample, example, ASDF, whatever it is, right? Go here and click on this camera. Okay, very simple, guys. I'm giving step by step, but all of you might have figured it out by enough. Click on camera, and whatever you have drawn on those papers, right? Just go and take some snapshots of it. Fut, right? Once you do that, what you do is, you will get your screens in this manner. Okay. Once you do that, go and tap on that screen and create what is called as a hotspot. You know what you have to do is, you have to link one screen to another. Like if I click at this place, I can go and link it to another screen, or it should open some other screen like that, right? For example, if I go and see, Ayush, can you just show your screen once on to the people over here? Ayush, can you just show your, was it Ayush? I don't know who. Yeah. Okay, we just Ayush, that's fine. Yes, can you just press on tick? Yeah. Did you take both the photos, Ayush?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay, show it on the screen for all of us. Yes, I hope all of you can see what Ayush's screen. Let me just stop presenting once. Show it, Ayush. Please show it everywhere. I've highlighted you. Yes. That's great. Click on the tick mark. Yes. Click on the first screen and make a hotspot and connect it to the second screen and just show it everyone. Yes. Could you connect it? Oh, its brightness is too high, but it's fine. So guys, it's pretty simple. If anyone else could have done it, just show it so that others can understand. All you have to do is select something on an existing screen, right? And you have to just link it to another screen over here. That's it. And that's it. After doing that, what you can do is show it to me on video over here. Whoever is here, just show it to me on video, whatever you have made. Okay. Tap on something, it should come to another screen. Right? Okay, we have Akshat showing something for us. Okay, Akshat. Yep. Okay, that's great. Can you link it back to the previous screen as well, Akshat? Yes. Yep. Come on. Anyone else wants to show on video? Yep. Ayush. Okay, your linking is done. Okay. Once you're done with it, just click on the play button and play it and tap it. That's it. Okay. Once you're done, just show it on video to me. Okay. Come on. Awesome. Harshal is about to show something. Yeah. Okay, Harshal, can you just play it again once more? Okay. Tapping on is getting to some other screen. Okay. And then tapping on that is going to back to the on screen. Okay, great. Awesome. Nice. Anyone else wants to show? Gopichan, you want to show? Yep. Not there. You have to go click on the tick. Connect it. Finish the connections. Yep. Okay. Clicking on something is going somewhere, though not able to figure out on the screen, but great. Awesome. Okay, great. Spotlighting myself again. Okay. So if you have observed, all of you, right, all it took is some 10 minutes to actually go and whatever is there in our mind to actually go and get on that rough paper, and out of it you could actually make something that you can go and click and experience, right? So let me tell you a small story about why you have done that and why something like this becomes very, very, very important in UX design, right? So let me give you a small story, right? So coming back from your own instinct about your thoughts about wanting to make something better, right? That is where we'll fundamentally start ourselves with, right? I keep identifying myself as someone who can make things better. How do I move forward? From there, how is this whole thing connected to being very, very valuable in UX design? Let me tell you. So let's say you wanted to make this radio app, right? Now you have this idea that, hey, you know what, if radio works this way, it would be very useful for someone to use. And that's what your idea was, right? You want to make a radio, let us say whatever, right now all I wanted you to do is just a blank, a normal, very simple radio I wanted you to make, but let us say you had some idea about it, you wanted to express that. Enough. As user experience designers, all of you listen very carefully and note down this point. As user experience designer, let me ask you one question. How is it that this user experience designer can figure out exactly how or exactly what can that person make so that other persons also feel that it is very usable? Let us say Ayush made some design, right? What if I don't understand whatever Ayush is trying to tell me from the radio app? Ayush had this brilliant idea, which I don't know, but let us say Ayush had this brilliant idea about his radio app. What's the guarantee that I probably will understand and use it the way he's intending it, right? Let's say Zaid here is trying to get his idea. What's the guarantee that I will use it? How will you solve this problem? Can anyone try and put it on the chat? How is it that you will solve this problem of you trying to understand whether your idea works out or not? How will you do this? Put up himself as a user, okay. Keeping it simple, all this is feedback. That's great. Beta and all is fine, but feedback, you just go and ask others whether it works or not. Simple, right? You don't make a grand, extreme, amazing version of this radio app, get it developed, launch, and then go and see that people are not able to understand, it will fail, right? What if people are not able to understand? Let's say we saw, was it Harshal, right? There was a big on something on the the button or whatever, right? I'm just not trying to comment. Was it Harshal? I don't know. Not going to say comment. Let us see if people understand that. Let us say he designs it, launches it, codes it, awesome. Google summer of code or whatever. What is this? Google whatever, right? Proudly presents this radio app. And nobody understands. Dude, all this is fine. What is that big thing in the center? I'm not able to understand what to do with it, right? It's a huge loss. We all agree? It's a huge loss of time. It's a huge loss of resources. It's a huge loss of money as well, right? So why not understand in a very, very early stage itself what is working, what is not working, keep correcting yourself, and always make something whatever is working, right? That's the most common sense thing to do. By now, a lot of you might have figured out I'm talking about something called as a lean approach. How many of you have done this lean, what do you say, lean startup, lean manufacturing, have heard, right? So in a very lean manner, as fast as possible, if you go and find out from people whether something is working or not, you can always improve yourself and go and make something which actually works, right? Therefore, as UX designers, the most important part of our journey, taking forward from whatever ideas or whatever things which we want to solve into finally making these wonderful screens and all these things and launching these products. We do a lot of iterations in between where we keep on understanding from our users whatever it or not. You get it? You get the fund of what a UX designer does today. Let us see if you are seeing those final screens, right? Let us say someone tell you your favorite app other than Amazon. If Amazon is not your favorite app, by the end of the workshop, I'll make it a favorite app. You know. But other than my patriotism towards Amazon, please tell me some apps which you love. You don't even have to tell the reason. Flipkart instantly just because I'm talking about Amazon, right? Huh? YouTube, Spotify, Uber, whatever, right? So let us say I open this person's favorite app, Spotify, right? I will write on my home screen. Okay. If just reduce the brightness a little bit. Okay. Okay. Now you can see this Spotify on my screen, and let's say Spotify is suggesting me SP Balasubramanian's songs. Okay. And I instantly understand that Spotify is trying to suggest me something. I am definitely attracted to go and tap it, right? And I want to listen SP Balasubramanian's songs. Okay. If Spotify is able to do all this and I'm able to understand it so clearly, if you're able to see such a beautifully looking screen as well, it's not just that you can easily figure out what's happening over there. A lot of people love Spotify because it looks great as well, right? It looks so pleasurable. It looks great, yeah, right? So if Spotify had to come there, imagine how much of this process that they have done of continuously understanding from people what is working, what they're loving or not. Do you get the point? Now all of you should understand, if you're seeing all those wonderful, beautiful designs and all those screens and all these things on dribbles and all these things, it's not because someone was extremely genius that they made something which absolutely works. In fact, no product can be made like that. A lot of companies, if they try and make something like that, they fail. The only way companies come up with these products which we all absolutely love is because of the hundreds of iterations they go and do right from these starting stages, going and understand what is working with users, getting that feedback, implementing that feedback and making it better, better, better and better, right? So to use the right terms and explain this very common sense things which is happening, what you have literally done is actually a working model of an idea which you had, right? And that's why it is a working model in engineering terms is also called as a prototype, right? Because your prototype was not a very clear prototype, right? You have made something which is very rough, and because of the nature of it being very rough, you could be very experimental, and it took very, very less time for you to do. And therefore, it is actually called as a low fidelity prototype, right? Low fidelity, it's also called as paper prototyping because you're doing it on paper. It's called as a low fidelity prototype And the reason why we do it is so that we can quickly get started and we can quickly get feedback from people and we know what to change from it. You got it? Please note down these terms, right? In this way, what we do is we keep on increasing our fidelity as we keep going forward. We make it on paper, we make multiple iterations on paper, we just make rough things on digital screens as well, and we keep improving and we keep making these wonderfully looking screens as well in the end as we keep going forward, right? And we do a lot of processes to go to the users and understand things from them, right? All of you got the perspective? Yep. Noted down this low fidelity prototyping, right? That's what you did right now. We'll also get to do the high fidelity prototyping, of which I'll cover a few parts right now, right? Tomorrow Nishant will take question answers, and also we'll try and cover a little bit more about the high fidelity prototyping, right? Which is very close to what you actually see on the screens over here, right? But all of you got this perspective, because if you directly want to jump into that final craft of making the screens, you cannot become a valuable UX designer, a person who is paid enough, not enough, I mean, paid the worth of what that person is. You can't, because you're just basing yourself on that very lucky idea of yourself being able to generate a very, very wonderful, beautiful screens which you think might work with users, and it will not work, right? If you're based upon luck, sorry, investors, companies do not want to just rely on someone's luck about generating a beautiful screen to put money on them. They need a scientific process to invest on, right? And this is a scientific process. Going back to users and understanding whether things are working or not is a scientific process, and it will make sure that right products can be built. And therefore, investments are done on these UX designers, and that's why they get FT salaries. You understand the secret, guys? It's not because of these people being able to create those wonderful pixels on their screens. It's not because of that. It is because of people relying on them, the trust they have that they will follow a process which can get them to a very, very user backward working product. And that's the reason why these people are being paid, right? Okay, great. So now that you understood this perspective, now before we go to this high fidelity prototyping, right, this going back and understanding with users, right, which common sense thing which I have told is actually called as testing. Please note this down, testing. You are going and testing with users, right? Now, okay, now you have asked me one question to me. Yeah, Anudeep, so I want to make this radio app or whatever this concept I have. So are you asking me to keep on going to these people every time and ask these questions whether it will work and all these things? Are there better ways to do it, or are there simpler ways to do it? Because I don't have time to go 100 times to my users for all the 100 iterations which I'm doing, right? It's an obvious question all of you might have had. So what we do is, instead of always going to the users, we also rely on existing data. Someone might have already done some research, right? Someone might have also already had some findings about how things work, right? So let us say you have to make a button, okay? Do you think I'll really make a button and keep testing it whether people are able to tap it or able to understand it, or that it will go and take it another link or not? Do you think I'll do it right now? I'll not do it. The reason is, I already know that a button is a very established behavior. Please listen to me very carefully over here. A button, the moment you look at a button, let us say Spotify has, let's say Spotify has this search icon below, right? 1 second, come on, yeah. Spotify has this search icon in the bottom, right? All of you can see this, right? All of you instantly understood that if you tap on that, you can go and search, right? Even if there is an entirely new app, you think if I click, I can go and search for whatever I want on Spotify, right? You don't have to go and test this behavior of search because it is something established in multiple platforms and people are able to use. You got it? So in this manner, we try and balance out about the things, about the existing information, existing patterns which already exist, about how people behave, and the unanswered questions about how people might find something interesting, might understand or not, that we go and ask these users, and we use these existing patterns to mix both of them and save our time and build a very good user-centric. Got what I'm trying to say, right? This, whatever we do to go and understand people by gathering existing data is actually called as using existing data or using existing research someone else has already done, right? Using that for going and getting conclusion about what I'm trying to do, will it work or not, is actually called as secondary research. First-hand evidence on whether it will work or not, and getting user-related data for have, right? If I'm generating my own data or not my own data, if I'm generating data first-hand, you can call it primary, and if all the existing data, if I'm trying to use, you can call it secondary, right? And you've also understood that at every stage I can go and understand whether people are able to use it or not, and that is actually called as testing, right? What am I testing? Can anyone try and tell me what is that I'm trying to test with these users in simple words? Put it on the chat. What is that I'm going and testing with people? If I make a concept, what will I test with them? Interface, okay, that's right. Still, experience, okay. Usability, okay. Nishant has used the textbook word, but in very simple terms, we just want to understand whether they're able to use it or not. Got it? Simple, right? You want to understand whether they're able to use it or not, whether they're able to understand the way you intended them to do or not. And therefore, it is actually called as usability testing. Please note this down as well, right? Simple. I have broken everything in UX design in very, very, very simple terms so that you understand the right perspective about it, and then learn it in a very textbook way if you want. You can go now and search about what usability testing is, all the methods we say, use all card sortings and all these things and learn about it. But if you have the perspective, right, the heart of it is that I go back and understand from users whether things are working or not. If you understand the heart of this, and if it naturally fits in your brain, you can go and read a lot about it and do most advanced methods to go and do usability testing. But without understanding that, if you learn only in a textbook way without understanding why you're doing it, it won't work out. And therefore, there are a lot of artificial designers today. Let me warn you, all of you, please do not get into that path of becoming a very artificial designer with a very artificial portfolio. Simply, you have card sorting in your profile. No idea why you have done. Someone kept it in their portfolio, you also kept it in your portfolio. You did wireframing. All those people who think wireframing is something that you make UI, you turn it into black and white and put it on your screens, and therefore you call it as a wireframing. If you think this will work, I'm telling you, this is first reason why your portfolio get rejected. So please do not get into this artificial UX designer path. Please understand all these things are there for a reason, and that is a perspective I'm trying to give you. If you have not got the perspective even now, maybe watch this recording again, maybe talk to me again or whatever. Get the perspective right. It's very simple to get this perspective right. Once you get it, all these things will naturally fit, and then go and learn these textbook terms, right? Go deep into usability testing, go deep into primary research, go deep into secondary research, go deep into all those things, go deep into prototyping, low fidelity prototyping, high fidelity prototyping, all these things you go into, but the fundamental is simply whatever I have told right now, right? If you understood that, oh my God, Anudeep, yes, now I really got this perspective, though all these terms really blow my mind, I'm very overwhelmed because of it, but the simple fact that I don't know what works with other people, and I'm trying to do all these things so that I can understand what works. For that, I'm trying to use existing data, or I'll try to generate data myself to understand it. I'll go and test with them whether they're able to use or not. The funda is this only. For that, I'm going to create some experience on some screens and make it a working model so that they can go and give me some feedback. If you understand this funda, please say perspectives on the chat. Come on, perspectives on the chat. If you've understood the whole thing in a very broken down manner, please say perspectives on the chat. If you have not understood, they'll give you this recording, I guess. Please listen to the recording again and understand about it, or attend my next workshops also, whatever, right? I'll give you links to attend it for free, right? Perspective, right? The reason I've named this session as perspectives about UX design is because this is the most important thing when you want to get into UX design, nothing else. Because if you come in an artificial manner, I'm telling you, there are thousands of people getting into UX design without the right perspective, and people simply fall down. It feels me very sad that they're just hanging on to some artificial things without getting the right perspectives, and they're not getting the results. Or even if they get the results, they're not holding on for a long time because they lack the fundamental idea about why they're trying to do something. Because they apply it in a very formula manner, it always won't work, right? Because if you know where it works, you can also understand where it won't work. Only if you understand what usability testing is, you'll also understand when not to do it. Because it's not that for everything you do, you will actually have the time to go and test with users, right? So how will you understand when not to do it? A lot of people teach about how to do it, when to do it, but when not to do it. The only reason you'll understand, the only way you'll understand it is by having the right perspectives about it, right? So just like a doctor, just imagine this doctor example, guys. You go to a doctor. What if the doctor, without understanding you, hey, you know what, this is a set of process which my hospital is following, and end up doing a surgery to you for whatever small pain you had here or there, right? How stupid it would be that just the doctor is defining one, the hospital is defining one entire process, and all of these have to be done because that is how this, treating someone works. If that is how, will you go to the doctor who will say, I'll only always follow this prescribed process, whoever the patient is? You wouldn't go, right? You'll only go to a person who understands you properly and does it what is customized to what will help you, right? You obviously will go to the person who can do everything. It's not that you will go to a person who is inexperienced, but you'll not only go to a person who will just do everything, but also knows where to perform something, where not to perform something, because you just always don't want your skin to be cut and you be ripped open apart for every small problem you have. Please get this perspective, right? Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, I know even if you have stayed till now, you're definitely loving this, but if you are loving this, say loving it or whatever, like, I know how much you want to express your love towards it, please express it on the chat. Or if you just say, great, just put a thumbs up or whatever, right? If you're loving it, say loving it. And then we'll move to the high fidelity prototyping, all this Figma part, a little bit exciting part for a lot of people, right? Awesome, awesome. Okay. The more O's you add to the love, the more I'll be happy about it. And that's a trick. Yeah. Okay. Great. Come on, video, guys. Come on, video. Because see, you have to understand one thing. I'm a teacher. Okay, you would have figured out by now that as I have my core thing is about teaching, and for me, the happiest thing in my life or in my daily life is one thing. If I am able to change someone's perspective, and if that perspective they can use it to change their entire life and the way they think, that's the happiest thing which can happen for me, right? Please get the perspective. And this can only happen if I see people, because if I only speak to walls, this cannot happen, right? Whenever I teach, I look at people's face, I look at their expressions and understand whether, they're really getting those perspectives or not. It's, I call it magical, but that is something which you can reciprocate back to me by showing your expressions to me, right? That's the only reason I'm asking to be on video. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Ishika is like, next workshop event. Awesome. Great. Though we have a limited time session right now, we can plan something. I'll kind of give way forward from here. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So what I want to do is, I'm sure a lot of you might have already created your accounts on Figma, right? So what we'll try to do is, we will try and make something on Figma right now. Okay. It is pretty basic, very simple, but we'll also keep learning the right perspectives about learning a tool. And through that, we'll understand the process of creating a high fidelity prototype and how it is used by UX designers to go and do better kind of testing and better kind of research and deliver better products. Okay, that's what we'll try and aim to do. Though this is something which takes a lot of time to learn, we'll see a small snapshot of it and understand the basics and fundamentals and the right perspectives about it. Ready with me? Right? Okay. So, great, Nishant. I think we can go ahead with that.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay. So, I do one thing. So I'm not able to, Nishant, for this, what I want you to do is, you share your screen. Okay. I'll ask you to do something, so you just do it on the screen, whatever I ask you to do, and I'll keep teaching about what it is and write the right perspective about it, and everyone can do. Okay, it's going to be a hands-on thing, guys. Just try it. Okay, and what I've done is, okay, once Nishant opens it, I will show. Okay, Nishant, just show right from clicking the Figma link, you show how people can duplicate the file and start getting it on their thing, right?
Okay, sir.
Share your screen and show it to us. Meanwhile, as Prashant is trying to do this, okay, no problem. I'll talk about that later. Roop Lala says, loving your energy. Awesome. Thank you, Roop. Anshika is enjoying. Rishabh says, amazing. Loving it and all. Okay. Yeah. So, as you can see on the screen, guys, we have Prashant over here presenting a screen. So, what you do is you click on this link. Okay. Click just click on duplicate. Okay. If you already have your what do you say, Figma account already created, click on duplicate. Just click on duplicate, bro. That's it. The workbook will open in your browser. Just a second. Okay, great. So I think all of you can see the screen right now, right? Can I just have an estimate on the chat? How many of you are able to successfully see this on your laptop screens? Okay, we have a lot of yes. And also great. Affirmative. Mr. Meet Modi. Chustunadu sir, there is a Telugu person also. Okay, Gopichand is from Andhra. Okay, great. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so what we'll do is you observe that. Okay, before you do anything, let me just give you how this whole thing works. You see that there is Nishan. Just keep clicking on every exercise as I say about it. You can see there are like a few exercises. Can you just scroll, bring that left side thing down so that you can see all the exercises at once. The left side, that one, yes, that's it, great. So you can see that there is exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and home assignment. Okay, in every exercise, just keep clicking on 1, 2, 3 and all, Nishan. Just click on 3 enough. Okay, there are a lot of steps. There is a result shown in the left side. There is do it here where you can do, right? You can go to exercise 4 as well, right? So this is how the whole workbook has been done. Okay, just go to the exercise 7 in the end. Yeah, you can finally see there is some Tinder for dogs kind of a thing over here. Okay, which we'll try and aim to do in this session. So this is the whole workbook. Okay, we're going to discuss about all these things, and through each of these things, let us learn some new perspectives and how actual things are done in UX design, right? So go to the exercise 1. Okay, so to all the people over here, let me tell you one thing. This is not just about learning how to use a tool. Please, all of you, please very carefully listen to me. Okay, this what I'm going to tell right now is about understanding the right perspectives so that you can use whatever tool you want to go and get those results. That is what you need to become. Why? I'll tell you why. If you identify yourself as a person who is like, hey, you know what, I'm great at Figma. When Figma dies, your job is done. Your role is done, right? Let us say for UX design, some 7 to 8 years back, Photoshop was used. Let us say you're a person who only learned Photoshop and thought that is what UX design is. Today, your job is gone. Understand? So don't both be this person who thinks, hey, if I learn Figma, I've learned UX design. No, right? It's not about learning one tool. The perspective is about how do I achieve what I want to make? How do I make this prototype, right? So that I can go and test it with people. How do I make this using a tool? And how can I use my natural skills to go and figure out stuff and learn this tool and apply the same thing, be whatever tool it is. That is the right perspective to have over here, right? So this is not going to be a Figma tutorial, because that hundreds of things you can find on YouTube. You don't have to come to this workshop to understand how Figma works. Got it? right? But what you have to learn from this workshop, even if you're not doing it along with me or Nishant, you know, understand the right perspective about why we are doing it in that manner and how it can be done irrespective of the tool, right? That is what you need to learn from here. Okay, now that being clear, what I want you to do is, okay, in exercise 1, you can see that there's something called playground, right? So let me tell you the perspective which you need to have over here. Whenever you want to learn a tool, let us say you started learning MS Paint or something, when you started learning the computer, maybe in a child, I don't know, whatever, right? It was MS Paint which we started with in our childhood. Computers themselves were very new, right? Computers, what's the right grammar there? Anyway, computers were very new, right? So all we did was start, accessories, and paint. So that was the standard operating procedure in our second, third standard, whatever. But anyway, well, let's say as you started using a lot of software tools on computer, right? Firstly, when you're trying to use it, what's the best way to actually go and become familiar with it? The best way is to actually break it, right? Do whatever random things and make sure it breaks, right? So that's the first thing you should do with this software or any software tool, is try and do whatever you want without worrying about what will happen, whether it will close, something will blast, my computer will turn off, nothing. Don't worry about anything else. Just try and do random stuff and try and break it, because that will really, really help you in two things. One, you will obviously become familiar with a lot of things over there. Two, that fear will break that, hey, you know what, I have to carefully and consciously go and use everything. Until I learn what is in the left side, I don't want to use the left side one. Until I learn what is there in the right side thing, I don't want to use the right side one. Because okay, no problem. Okay, fine. Because I'll tell you why this behavior happens. The reason why a lot of people are conscious, by the way, as I'm speaking this, you can do random stuff literally with Figma over there. That's the reason I'm talking over there, right? So just what you do is just keep creating some rectangles, arrows, whatever, Nishant, as you're doing on the screen. But let me tell you. So what happens is, the reason why people are very conscious about learning a tool and why they think that, hey, you know what, I need to take a big course, all these things, step-by-step videos to actually go and learn a tool. The reason why people think like this is because this is what something which happens on physical things as well, right? Let's say you want to learn a car. It's not that you can go and break the car until you know how to literally hold the handlebar, or maybe all you know is how to hold the handlebar, right? You don't know what button to press, which leg to use for what. You're very careful about it, right? But with software tools, you don't have to worry about it so much. It's not going to blast, right? So that's one very good advantage we have over here, is just try and break it, so that you will have a lot of familiarity around with it. Just like what we do in playing games also, right? We just go, die, come back, die, and keep exploring. I think, how many gamers are here? How many gamers are here? Say gamer on the chat. Yeah. You don't play games being very, very cautious right from the first attempt as well, right? You're very explorative, right? What will happen? Maybe I'll die. I'll come here, right? Someone is saying negative. Oh, you're not a gamer, or you're not explorative in games, right? Respawn, awesome. Yeah, that's why I absolutely love what is this? Infinite respawn games. I can just simply do whatever I want and just die and come back, right? So we have infinite respawns over here. So experiment with yourself, get this perspective, right? See, Nishant is trying to make some ice cream over there, right? So try and do something like that, so that you can become familiar with it and you can lose that fear that, hey, you know what, the tool is sitting over me. And note this point, guys. A lot of people, okay, I don't have the exact statistics, but a lot of people have this psychological feeling that tools are superior to them. Tools, interfaces, products are superior to them. A lot of people think they are inferior and products and tools are superior to them. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because all of you are from Triple IT and all, I'm assuming you people can understand what I'm trying to say. Tools are there to help us. They're not there so that we are like, oh, no, what happened? You know, we behave in a very inferior manner to them. It's not like, that's not why tools are there with us, right? So let's break that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now that you'll try it yourself, whatever it is, so what we'll try and come and do is, we'll get to the exercise 2. Get to the exercise 2 part, guys. Yes. Awesome. The beauty about this workbook is, all of you, please listen carefully. If you are in exercise 1, even if you have finished or not, you can directly come to exercise 2. If you are in exercise 5, even if you have finished or not, you can come and start exercise 6. So I've made everything in this workbook independent of each of the exercises, because I know if you have to take it in a textbook manner, we don't have time to finish exercise 5 and exercise 6 started. Ye nahi hua, wo I cannot start, therefore I'll just stop doing anything. I know this behavior exists. So I thought on behalf of you also and made this workbook very independent. If you have not completed something, you can absolutely start it from the next exercise. No problem. Everything will be readily available in the next exercise. Okay. So very simple instructions are there. All you have to do is create a rectangle over here, put some width over here, and put a color of your choice. Okay, one second. Nishan, don't do it. Wait. Okay. So all of you, I want you to do it, but I have one rule. Okay. I have a rule. What I want you to do is, let us say there is a saying, okay, go and draw this rectangle. What I want you to do is, I want you to think, or even if possible, write down, what is that? If at all I was the creator of Figma, okay, the first step, actually, I'll divide into steps. The first step, the first rule is, I want you to think you are the creator of Figma. Okay, not the designer who's trying to design this rectangle, but the designer of Figma itself. That's the first rule, right? I want you to think that you are the creator of the tool itself. That's the first thing. And second, as a creator of Figma, what is that I would have done if I want to make people draw a rectangle on the screen? What are the steps I'll give? What are the things which I'll provide to the users if at all I want people to actually make them draw a rectangle? Take this as a challenge and try and write it down without actually drawing a rectangle over here. Don't touch it. Don't explore it, right? Go and try and write down or think about. Some people can also put it on the chat about what is that you will do. Probably if you are the creator of Figma, what is that you will do so that people can successfully draw a rectangle over here with these requirements, right? With some heights and widths and all these things, and giving a color, you will be able to draw a rectangle. What is that you will do? Yeah. Can someone put it on the chat? Can be absolutely wrong. Can be pure BS. Don't worry. Just put it. S1, closed shapes. S2, step 2, rectangle in that. Okay. 2 steps. Sorry, I read as closed shapes. Yeah. I'm not asking you to give steps of construction. Come on. Think in a better manner. What I'm trying to say is, what is that you will do as a creator of this tool if you want to make the users of your tool draw a rectangle over here? What will you do? Come on. Or what you can also do is, if spare the effort in writing, if anyone wants to speak, someone who has never done it on Figma or whatever, just want to speak. If anyone wants to speak, they can speak. Just speak and give me some ideas. Anyone wants to speak over here? Who wants to speak? Come on. Mohit, you want to speak?
Yes, sir. User will speak that a rectangle of that dimensions. Then the rectangle will be there in the screen, and second task of the user will be just place it in a particular position.
Okay. See, understand my question. Just beyond conversation, understand my question a little better. Are you answering a question which I am trying to say, how to draw a rectangle on Figma? Or are you answering a question, say, how will you make your users draw a rectangle on Figma? Which question are you answering me?
Sorry, second one.
Okay. Fine. Let me give you a perspective. I'll tell you, try one line and then explain your remaining answer in that manner. Okay. So I'll give you one clue. The first way, if I'm a creator, I'll start my answer like this. As a creator, I will make sure people understand that they can draw somewhere. Right? That's the first step, right? Obviously, you have to draw somewhere. If you draw a rectangle, where will they draw? I'll make sure people understand and find a place to draw this rectangle somewhere. Right? In this manner, tell me how will you provide me things so that I can draw a rectangle, not in a way that you tell me steps of construction. You got it? Can anyone try?
Sir.
Yep, go ahead, Mohit, try. Anyone else? Harshal, you want to try?
Sorry, sir, what?
You want to try telling in this manner, as a person who created Figma, how will you, what do you think you will do to make sure people can draw a rectangle on the screen?
Sir, we can, like, what we want to draw, we can show a symbol where we can get a idea, like, the user can know, like, yeah, if we want to draw a shape, then this shape symbols are present on the navigation bar or bar, like that.
Okay. Interesting. That's about finding how to draw. Okay, and then
by clicking on it, like, we can get drop down options like which shapes we want to draw.
Okay.
And then clicking on it, and we may changing in the cursor shape, we can get to know that okay, we can draw now by dragging it or sliding it.
Interesting. No worries, no worries. That's your perspective of how you do it. Okay. Let me break it down even in a fundamental manner. Okay, all of you listen to me while you go and try and draw a rectangle. See, because drawing rectangle on Figma is not difficult, right? Absolutely, because you have been drawing rectangles in Microsoft PowerPoint also. So trying and drawing a rectangle here is not very difficult, but get the perspective right, because if you use this perspective, be it drawing a rectangle or making the most advanced prototyping in a software tool, both of them will become as simple as what I'm trying to tell, right? Okay. So and if you do it this way, you'll also become a better UX designer. Okay, so see the beauty. As a person who designed Figma, first of all, I'll make sure people are understanding whether they understood where to draw or not. They have a place for them to actually go and draw these rectangles. Therefore, I'll give them a place to draw, right? Right? Noted? Second thing, I'll make sure users find out what a rectangle is or how to find where to start drawing a rectangle from. You got it? I'll make sure. See, I'm not using any specific terms over here. I'm not telling I will give a rectangle thing, I'll give a drop down. All these are later. Fundamentally, I'm trying to think like this, that I'm making sure my users find out where to start drawing a rectangle from. You got it? Because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a starting point to go and draw a rectangle. Got it? I will make sure my users understand they can give enough inputs so that the rectangle which is drawn can be up to the right specifications about what they need. So I'll give them enough inputs so that my tool can take all those inputs from that user so that they can give that result of that final rectangle, right? I'll think like this because that is what you actually want. You got it? So if you think in this manner, that how is it that as a creator of the tool, what is that will I do so that my users can actually go and do something? If you start thinking like that, that makes you half the job is done. So because all you have to do for right now is go and find out how that strategy might have been implemented in this particular software. I tell you why. I tell you what's the problem with literally learning how it is done in this software tool. Let's say you understand, okay, for rectangle, you have to go and click on that rectangle thing and you have to draw a rectangle over here. Let us say, okay, what if rectangle could have also been drawn by simply moving your mouse cursor into a rectangle, random rectangle shape, and maybe your tool automatically might have created a rectangle from it, right? Why not? Why should it always be that you have to click on a rectangle icon and then draw a rectangle over here, right? Why don't you just take a photograph of a rectangle somewhere and a rectangle automatically gets generated here? Why not say, Figma, please draw a rectangle, and Figma already draws a rectangle over here? Why all this? Why not all these solutions? Right? So the only way to get all these ideas, right? Because there are also possible solutions for this. The only way is to go and zoom out. How is it that I'll make sure my users understand that they can do activity over here instead of learning it in a way that you know what to draw a rectangle, I have to go and click on the rectangle icon and I have to draw it over here and give the shape in the properties panel of learning. And that way, if you learn it in the way which I have told you, you can literally get thousands of ideas and any tool will be very easy for you. Because Figma uses this method, right? Let us say you go to iPad and have some other apps. If you use it, you might, all it takes is to draw a rectangle, is just draw rough something. I don't know, can anyone tell me some apps? All you have to do is just roughly draw a rectangle and creates a rectangle for you, right? Or maybe some voice-based tools might come, or say, hey, please draw a rectangle of this, and then the tool can already create a rectangle for you, right? So whatever tool it is, however it uses, if you use this technique, you're not worried about the exact way a rectangle is drawn, and you yourself will identify that you are becoming closer to understand how people actually use products. You got it? So you're becoming a designer, you're learning how to become a UX designer by practicing how UX designers have already worked to create tools in the first place itself. You got it? That's the beauty of taking this approach. If you love this approach, this is what I call as the non-textbook approach of learning software design tools. I'll repeat it again, okay? But if you believe that, yeah, I understand, this is the fundamental way of learning a tool, so that I am not worried about the exact tool or the exact strategy that tool is telling me to do it in only that particular way, but I zoom out of it and I'm trying to solve a problem, I understand it, and whatever way the tool is trying to figure out, I will go and figure out and do it for that matter. The tool changes because I think in this fundamental manner. The strategy might change, but again, I'll figure out because this is what I want to achieve, right? If you can relate with that, say non-textbook approach, NTA in the chat. Come on. Even if you didn't understand, if you believe this is the right way to learn a tool, say NTA in the chat. Come on. Non-textbook approach, NTA in the chat. Awesome, awesome. We have a lot of believers here. Yep. Understand, that's why this session is called Perspectives of Learning UX Design, right? Anyway, by now a lot of people might have actually drawn rectangles over here, but what I want you to do is, I want you to go and draw a rectangle with NTA and then put on the chat, done by NTA, right? Done with NTA, done with non-textbook approach. Draw a rectangle literally by thinking, what is that I will do as a creator? And then, so I'll tell you, I'll break it into steps. The first thing, okay, I'll just share my screen. So you guys can literally note it down. Okay. Bro, I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So people literally note it down, my approach. Okay. Non-textbook approach. Okay. Let me clearly tell you. The first step is step into the creator's shoes. Start thinking, how is it that if I am the creator of this tool, what is that will I do so that people can actually finally go and accomplish that goal or that task? First step, go and step into the creator's shoes and start thinking like a creator and come up with those strategies. Okay. What is that you would have done to solve that problem? What is it you have done so that you have to create that feature? Start thinking in that manner. Okay, note this down, guys. Step into the creator's shoes, start thinking like a creator. Next thing is, what is that you would have done if at all you were to create that feature, right? We'll write down all those things. Note this down. Okay. I assume you noted. And then what you do is, after doing that, go and look for familiar things in the tool. After you've written down that I will make sure that people can draw a rectangle somewhere, go and look for where is that place given in this particular tool. After writing down that I will make sure that people can understand that there is a starting point to go and draw a rectangle, go and figure out what is that starting point in the tool. I will make sure people can give enough inputs to finally make a rectangle of this particular things. Go and find out about those inputs in this tool to actually finally make that rectangle of that color or of that size. You got it? Do you appreciate the beauty of this, guys? Yep. I'm telling you guys, initially it'll take a little effort, but it's so beautiful that as you keep doing it in this manner, you'll start loving learning tools and thinking like a UX designer, because this is so natural for us. Because all of us really have that creator's ability, right? We want to solve problems. We really want to create stuff, right? We want to have the challenge in front of us. How is it that I would have done it, right? We love it so much that if we start thinking in this manner, whenever we learn a tool, we'll absolutely love the tool and we'll be very quick with the tool because we have figured it out ourselves too. Second, there'll be no fear. We are not worried whether I have learned 100 things about the tool, because whatever it is, I learn whenever it comes. I'll figure it out by this non-textbook approach, right? Because I will start thinking like a creator and figure out a strategy and understand the tool. It's okay. The tool has thousands of features to offer. I learn them when the time comes. So you're not worried about it. You're not scared about tools. And most importantly, because you yourself have done it, you will remember it for a long period of time. And therefore, you can become very, very quick in learning and doing things with UX design tools. Got it, guys? Yeah. So now I'll stop presenting my screen, right? Okay. So the reason why this is very, very important is because if you learn this way, again, it is again related to you being a valuable UX designer. Why? Because tomorrow, when you're working in a company, irrespective of whatever tool is being there in the company, irrespective of the situation which is there, you can still go and craft that result, give an output for your company to go and deliver an experience to users. You're not going to nag about not having access to Figma. I only know Figma. I don't know anything else, or whatever, Adobe XD or whatever which you know, and you're not really going and nagging about, hey, I don't have the right tool over here, therefore I can't go forward. With whatever is there with you, you'll still go and produce the best result possible, right? So that's why this becomes very, very important. Or you'll also know how is that you will convince your company to get Figma, because you know why it is useful. You know every strategy why Figma is useful. Therefore, you know what it takes to go and convince your company to get Figma over there, if at all you want Figma, or Adobe XD for that matter. So someone asks a question, hey, why not Adobe XD? You can, absolutely, right? Because the funda is the same. There's no difference in the funda. Whatever tool you want to use, Adobe XD, Figma, Sketch, InVision, whatever this or anything, the funda is very much the same, right? Awesome. Okay, Nishant, share your screen. Oh, Nishant left the meeting only. We'll get to the questions. Let's just finish a few things in the exercise and we'll get to the questions. Nishant, are you there? No worries.
I think he's also have some.
Can anyone share the screen and please show it to me? If you got this perspective, guys, I'm just going to make you explain all those things. You can go and do those exercises. Then Nishant will clarify doubts about how to do it in the next session he'll have, right? But I'll just talk about few of the important perspectives in each of those exercises and you can go home and do it. So don't have to worry about it. Okay. And then we can quickly go to question answer session, because a lot of people have this questions. Absolutely, someone asking, hey, what is this user interface? How is it different from UX and all these things? You already have the answer in my session, but still I'll give you the perspective. Do we have Nishant coming back? Can you just quickly check with?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Nishant.
Yeah, actually, sir, laptop was dead. I plugged it into charging.
Is there anyone else who can share their screen? Yes, Gopi-chan, can you please share your screen once?
I'm saying we are sitting from floor.
I think Nishant can share the screen. Nishant, are you on the laptop?
Sorry, you're asking for a break, huh?
Yeah, we are seeing from 4 o'clock. 2 hours.
Okay. I almost forgot because when I get into it, I just absolutely love it so much that I forget time. I'm also realizing that. We can definitely take a break. I absolutely don't mind, but I feel it become even more late for people. So I'll do one thing. We can literally end the session in half an hour. I don't want you not literally do everything over here. I'll just give perspective about how to do these exercises. You can do it and come back and Nishant can help you guys. Okay, because I've made this exercise in a very, very step-by-step manner. Okay, go to the exercise, Nishant, or whoever it is. Sorry, who is doing this? Gopi Chanda? Nishant.
I'm presenting, sir.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll tell you about that, and then we can end the session itself. Or what we can do is, I can tell you this, go for a break, and the practical thing will end. It's not that you'll do anything, but you can ask me any questions. I can spend an hour to answer multiple questions, whatever questions you have. A lot of people have questions about what is UX, what is UI, or things like that. How can I become, whether I will be a fit, what will I do after engineering this, and all these questions might be there, right? I can speak about all those things and give you a practical approach to how do you become a UX designer starting from now. I can discuss about all those things after the break. Okay, let's do that. So now that you understood about this non-textbook approach, try and do every exercise over here in a very, like, I've broken it down into a very step-by-step manner, very clearly given things. So quickly explain what these things are, go and try them at home, and whatever questions you have, I think you can go and ask Nishant later. Okay, so in this exercise, all you have to do is draw a rectangle, circle. Just can you go down? Go down. Nishant, scroll down. Put some text and font and all these things, but remember that every exercise you do, please use a non-textbook approach. Go and think like a creator and find out strategies. How is the creator? If you are a creator, what you will do, and then go and implement this and do it with NTA. Done with NTA. Okay. So do that here. Next, in the next exercise. Yes. What we're trying to do here is, if you understand that obviously we're trying to achieve making an app screen, why and all we can discuss later. Why an app, why not a website, why even a digital interface, why not digital interface, all these things. A lot of things can be discussed, but for now you can understand that this is the most top priority interface which businesses are engaged in, and that's why you are picking a mobile interface for now, right? So a very simple thing about, if you are someone who have to make something for a mobile interface, you need something to draw on, right? And that's the very reason you'll have to start with a canvas, and that canvas is over here, that you make a mobile interface frame, right? Either you take an iOS interface or an Android interface. Both of them are presented over here. There is this, can you just scroll? Both of them are present over here. Yep, there's an Android interface and there is an iOS interface. You can go and draw them. Okay, these are like the base frames. Okay, then go to exercise 4. This has stuff about how is that you can place your text, how is that you can place your icons, images, and all these things. And it has a very good important perspective of using existing plugins to make your stuff very easy, right? Because how many of you agree over here that you are lazy? Put on the chat that you are lazy. Come on. How many of you agree that you are lazy? Put it on the chat over here. Say lazy on the chat. Come on. The more lazy you are, say lazy on the chat. Yeah? Awesome. So I'll tell you how laziness is used in UX design, right? Let's say, just go a little bit down, bro. You have to place an icon over here. Okay. You can say, hey, I want an icon, no? That profile icon. What I'll do, I'll go and create it. I'll put a circle. I'll make another semicircle. I'll cut it. I'll put it gray, and I'll do all these things. But then I'm a person who's like, hey, you know what? Why should I make an icon when icons are available on the internet? Why should I make an icon? Instead, I'll put my energies on making a new experience. Why do I have to repeat making things which are already established, right? So I'm lazy. So instead of making an icon, I'll just get an icon from somewhere, right? I'll even more lazy. Even instead of getting it from Google, I'll say, hey, you know what? Is there something in the tool itself that I can directly get a profile icon if at all I want a profile icon, or a messages icon if I want a messages icon? Thinking like this will lead me to something called using plugins in any tool, right? Plugins make any tool experience very easy. Don't you all agree? Right? You don't have to jump away from the tool as well, right? So here we're asking you to install a tool called Iconify, so a plugin called Iconify, right? You don't have to jump out of Figma as well. Simply go and search for this icon on this Iconify. When you install, and just drag and drop and put an icon tool over here. Mainly because we are lazy, right? The reason why I'm pulling laziness out of here is because only if you are lazy and you don't want to do repetitive things, obvious things which have already been established, only if you don't want to do them, you can be innovative, and or else you'll keep on putting a lot of hard work, but the result won't come. right? So remember this, guys. Laziness. Use the weapon of laziness. I call it a weapon of laziness, and figure out how to do it in a smart manner. You got it? That's the principle over here. So use the plugins and get an icon over here and go down and get an image over here. Okay. Next, go to the exercise 5. Maybe what you can do, Nishant, tomorrow is you can literally cover every aspect of this. You can literally do the workbook, everything, and you can show it how it is done in a step-by-step manner. Explain the right perspectives as well. I'm getting the perspectives today, but you can also explain the perspectives and literally tell them how to do it. You got it? Okay. The next thing is about creating components. The funda is simple because we are very lazy people. Okay. Let us say your screen has this button. One button is there, let us say. Okay. You have to make this button, let's say, in 10 screens. 10 buttons. The same button has to be there in 10 screens. Okay. You go to a test and someone said they are not able to understand what is there on the button. Okay, let us say the share button is there on the top. Okay. Just point out, Nishan, on the share button. Let's say you go and show this whole screen. Someone is saying, I'm not able to understand that share. Not able to read that clearly what is written, because blue and white are almost very less contrast. I'm not able to read it. Right? Let's say you got that feedback. Let's say you made 20 screens to show an example of how Figma is going to work, and you put all of those places, you put this blue button. So you got feedback saying that blue is not working. You want to turn it into a dark blue version or a dark violet version or whatever. Will you go and make those changes in all those 20 screens which you have made? Will you do that? You won't, right? Because that's not a smart way of doing it. Because two reasons. If you have to put so much effort to go and change things after getting feedback, will you actually go and pursue feedback, or will you be lazy to not get feedback and go ahead with whatever you would have done? Right? If it is very difficult to make changes, you will not be getting feedback from people, and if you're not getting feedback from people, you will not make good products. So therefore, use your laziness, and for that what we try and do is we use an approach called component-based approach, where we only make a thing which is repeatable only once, which you call it as a component. Okay, and we reuse that component in multiple places, so that if any change happens, we just make the change in the component, and everywhere else it gets changed. You got the perspective, guys? All of you, right? See how I'm linking it to being lazy and how I'm linking it to being smart. Because there are a lot of people, a lot of UX designers, I don't have hair right now over here, but there's a lot of UX designers out there who simply lack this perspective. They do not want to use components. They do not want to use these smart things. They want to put in a lot of hard work trying to make those 200 buttons for 200 screens. If any change comes, they're willing to change. In fact, they're not willing to change and go and get feedback. There's so much sticking to their own versions of how they've designed, because they have to put so much effort, or they have put so much effort to make a simple button on 200 screens. You got it? Right? And therefore, you have to learn about how to do it in a component-based manner. If all of you are programmers, you can understand a component is nothing but like an object. All of you, I think, know a little bit fundamentals of object-oriented programming, right? I think the funda is very similar, that you create an object and that can be used in multiple places, right? Instead of having individual code being written in multiple places and changing it in multiple places, right? So that's what you'll do in this exercise. You'll create a component and use that component in the screens, and whatever change you make to these components will establish itself. It will change itself in the screens. Okay. So just scroll down and show the component being used. Okay, that's in the next exercise, I think. Okay. So that is something what you will make over here. Nishant, I think you can cover this tomorrow about how exactly to create a component and how to use the component in the screen. But please get the perspective about reusability. Okay. Awesome. Then let's go to the exercise 6. Okay, here what you do is, having all these components, created all these things, all you literally do in this exercise is just simply drag and drop and pull all these things and put it on the screen and make it a screen. Even now you can do, okay? But a very important thing over here is, when you're doing it, please observe why each thing being placed on a screen is making sense at that particular point and place. Let's say, just zoom into the left side, the result, Nishan. Just keep asking yourself these questions. Why is this green color like on the right side? Why are these bigger icons on the bottom? Why are they even big? Why is the dog so big? Why is the image being shown here? In this way, start questioning everything you're trying to do and start thinking about what are the users, how does it help users. Having that in your mind, literally put everything on the screen. Got it, guys? Note it down. Nishant, you also understood? Yep, because that is very important. In fact, you can literally go and do it in every other screen which you do right from today onwards. All of you, please note this down very carefully. Every app you use, everything you use, start questioning. Like, let us say I'm opening Instagram, okay? All our favorite apps. Start asking questions like, why is it that the home is over here? Why is messaging over here? Why is messaging icon like that? Right? And it's not showing. Literally question everything on the screen, right? And start thinking how is it that it would have helped users or how it's not helping users, right? Practice that while you are putting things on the screen as well, right? Okay, once you do this, then you have exercise 7. Go to exercise 7, where you can literally go an animated prototype over here. Nishant, can you just click on that first screen, and then click on play? Yeah, click on play. Okay. And the funda over here is on that image. Yeah, it goes big. Click on that again, it just goes back. Right? Okay. Here you can see an animated prototype. Right? It's being animated over here. Right? It's not around click is suddenly coming. It's obviously coming in a very smooth manner. Right? So the funda about doing something like this is understand things which are in a continuous manner. Let us say my mobile phone is here, it requires to move from here. In real world, we see everything in a very continuous manner. So how well can you actually guide your users to understand what they have to do in a very natural manner is something which is being expressed through animations in UX design. You got it? So if you have that perspective, you'll understand why is it that we make animated prototypes, animations in whatever designs which we do. And that is what, using that perspective, go and learn how to do animated prototyping here. Nishant, I'm sure you can cover this part as well, right? It's pretty simple. It's very straightforward, okay? But have the right perspective that because it is very natural about how people naturally do things being continuous, things being guided to our eye, how things move, and therefore animations are also done in presenting interfaces to users, right? And the reason why we should do a prototype by itself, that is all we have covered in the session, is because you want to go and get feedback from users, right? Or else there is no point actually going and doing this, right? So after that, there are multiple things which you can always try. Go to the home assignment part. There are multiple advanced things which you can go and try it out on your own. Okay. So in this way, this whole workbook will literally help you in going from very, very basics and applying all these right perspectives and going to a place where you can literally go and make a screen. And using all these perspectives, you can go and make multiple other screens, multiple other apps, or your concepts, that radio or whatever ideas you have. You can use these perspectives and start doing it, and it will literally help you a lot. I'm telling you, this works as a very, very good kickstart to a lot of people to get their designs into execution by using any tool of their choice. Got it? Yep. Okay, now you can stop sharing your screen, Nishant. Okay. Okay, so for all those 45, 50 people on the call, 53 people on the call, awesome. That's a good turnover, and that's a good number of people who have stayed even after 3.5 hours. Okay, so guys, we'll take a break now, but I hope all of you absolutely love the perspectives about UX design. And I thought, I hope that all of you just understood about just learning it in a very artificial manner. It's all about understanding the right core fundamentals of it, getting the throughout my life. Everything, if I see a vada and chutney on my table, right? I start thinking, what is that I can learn from here? Appreciate the beauty of the design of vada, right? Why is it in this size? Why is that hole is there? How is it made? Why does it taste so good? In this way, I'm able to learn from everything which I see in my life. Say student for life, S for LNM. Then you make you a mind-blowing UX designer, right? Say S4L on the chat. Everyone, guys, come on. Yep. Awesome. Don't worry, guys. I'm not ending the session. I'm only taking a small break. We'll take a small break. Join back in 15 minutes. What we'll do a 45 minutes doubt session. Nishant, is it fine, right? We have some time, right? Right? Who wants to join? They
Yes,
can.
sir.
Yep. There is no compulsory about it. The practical session is over. Nishant will continue tomorrow again by giving you how to exactly do all those things. Or else we'll join back in 15 minutes. I also finish my vada and chutney, right? After that, all your questions, difference between UI, UX, how is that you can get all those basic questions and even advanced questions you can ask me, and I'll give you the right perspectives from whatever I can offer to you, right? Awesome. We got so many S4Ls. So I hope all of you absolutely loved this. Yep. Okay, guys. So see you back in 15 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Hey guys, I'm back. Nishant and everyone, if you are here,
Yes,
you can just maybe put a message or whatever to people to just join back, or you just tell the doubt session or the casual session is going to start. Again, people just can come on videos. You don't have to be literally sitting in front of your desktop or whatever. It can be very casual. You can have something, you can sleep or whatever you can do, and just be on video. Great. So we have some 30 people over here. Am I still connected? Yep. Okay. What, Avanish, is that a pressure cooker?
Yeah. It was too quick to highlight that.
Or is it not?
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker.
Okay. Okay, great. So let's start taking questions. Okay. You can literally ask me anything. Just don't ask me salary. It's pretty good, but I don't want to tell you.
But the HR policy.
Sorry, what?
But the company policy for not to disclose it.
Not like that. Even if my company tells me to share my salary, I wouldn't tell my salary, because that's not the way of salary is, am I getting enough value for the value I'm trying to generate for my company? And yes, for the skills I have, for the things which I can potentially do, the company is giving very good value to me. I'm absolutely happy for it, right? Or else I wouldn't be working in that company, or I wouldn't be accepting that offer. So that's the right way to think. But other than that, but anyway, go ahead. People can just open their mic and speak. You can better if you be on video, or you can also put it on chat, and let's discuss some of the most pressurizing or bothering questions, or even casual questions. Yep. Nishant himself has a question. Why don't you just ask it out, Nishant?
Yes, sir. In the beginning, you told that you would make the Amazon app our favorite one.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't see anything coming for that, and I was just want to ask: is there something secret that you would tell us, and it would become our favorite one?
It's not like that. I'll tell you in a different way. It's not that. It's not that I was going to talk about that one amazing secret about Amazon, and it's going to become your favorite. The way I told you, try to tell you, is if you get the right perspectives about what UX design is, then you start appreciating beauty of why Amazon works very well. If you see, Amazon is like that switchboard ka switch. It works, reliable, it's very good, right? It doesn't have to be an absolutely brilliant looking switchboard ka switch or whatever, right? But you know how to use it. A lot of people can use it. A lot of people can get things whatever they want, and a lot of people can very simply navigate through it, right? So if you actually let go and understand Amazon, that you're able to use it in a very nice manner, and everything has been done in such a way that you can literally find whatever you want and get it wherever you want, that is something which you'll understand. It is a beauty of how Amazon is doing things. And that's the perspective which I told, right? Not that I'll bring one secret and say, hey, you know what, now you are going to love Amazon. It's not like that. Obviously, I can't force love for something. You have to only realize, right? That's one thing about love, right? Nobody can force you to, let us say, someone coming and say, hey, I love you, please love me back. Nobody can force you to love someone, right? But the only thing is, how well do you connect and realize the value which you associate with it, so that you start loving it. So start seeing what, if it's not just about Amazon, guys. Okay, whatever product which you don't think whether it's working or not working, start looking through this lens. How usable is it? How many problems of me are solving? How obvious is it for me to use? Or does it have to be so gorgeous or so exotic or whatever that I call it a good UX, right? It need not have to be, right? Like the switch. Okay.
Yeah, sir. I'm Gopichan.
Yes, Gopichan.
I am a Telugu guy.
But ask your questions in English because
Sure. Yeah, sure.
User experience.
Actually,
right?
yeah. Actually, I'm seeing different roles in companies. They're hiring like interaction designer, like visual designer, like UX designer, UI designer. Like how will we get that? How companies give us the right opportunity for us, the designers? Actually, when you come into a UX designer, there's part of like visual designer. What it comes like interaction, visual. Like I saw like usage.
Yes.
Like researcher. How we got jobs? What we love like.
Sure. Let's speak about that. So firstly, you need to understand one thing about job titles. Okay. Two answers to the same question. One, textbook wise, an interaction designer, a UX designer, or a user experience designer, a product designer, right? All these people are textbook wise very different fields. Interaction designer is someone who primarily focuses on the interactions people have with other experiences or products. A product designer primarily focuses on designing the product side of it rather than the services or or multiple other things. Instead, the focus is mostly on designing a product, an end-to-end product, and doing everything for a product. A user experience designer focuses primarily on understanding the user and going and doing things backwards from the user more than the business. In this manner, a lot of terms are used today which by textbook have different meanings and different things which people can do, right? But what literally happens is when businesses use these terms, they finally end up going to the same place because all these people, all these companies want that someone to go and craft an experience so that they can go and impact their business. It's not that they need someone who can do charity. They need someone who can actually create an experience for a user so that they can go and do a better business because of the impact that person brings. So therefore, these terms, though textbook by textbook, they mean different things. All of them are being used in a very interchangeable manner based upon whatever the company is, with its own legacy trying to call it. Let's say Google calls it interaction designer, Amazon calls it UX designer, Swiggy calls it product designer. But all of these people do the same thing today, though the textbook terms are different. That's the first part of the answer. The second part is, now we also added something called visual designer and all these things. So the second part is, how do I understand which one to select, or how do I understand these things and all these things, right? Or also your question is about, how do I understand the requirements of a company when I have these roles? What was the question here? I can answer all these things, but I want to first answer what is that exactly thing you're asking. How do companies decide, or how is it that I understand the requirements of each of these roles? Or what exactly?
Like how I know that I am fit for these roles, or
okay, that fine. I'll answer the fit part. Okay. So today you've seen the session about UX design, right? So for UX design, interaction design, product design, all these things, okay, all these fields together, all coming under the job roles of UX. For those things, in today's session, if you have found that whatever I spoke fundamentally makes sense to you, right? Which means, okay, tell me, Gopichan, in your childhood, what is you used to love doing, even if someone was not forcing you, or you just naturally do it, like something as simple as playing cricket. Can you give an example of what you're trying to do?
Playing cricket, absolutely.
Awesome, right? So let us take this example. All of you listen very carefully, guys. So let's say Gopichan was coming. Gopichan, please be on camera for this, man. At least, come on.
Yeah. Sure. Based on this, I am using my PC, large PC. So it has no camera and a external device.
Let's say Gopichan, or a lot of you, I think, totally can relate with this, right? So you came back from your school and you simply want to run to the ground and start playing. You don't care about having lunch. You don't care about changing your uniform. You don't want to care about anything. Just want to run to the ground and start playing cricket. Pick that bat, throw your bag and pick that bat and keep playing. And if it is left, you will play day and night. You'll keep playing, right? We were so interested in playing cricket. It was very difficult also in one sense. We are putting a lot of hard work, right? It was not like, it is not difficult to do, but we never realized the difficulty of it. We just loved it so much. We never even felt that it is something difficult. We're playing in hot sun. If it was not cricket, we can't stand for 5 minutes under the sun. If it was like our mother just said, hey, you know what, just sit here and observe whatever I'm trying to do. I'm trying to buy something, you observe, or whatever. We cannot stand. But if it was cricket, we could literally stand in the sun how much our time it is, right? Okay, now, which means what's happening is playing cricket is very natural to you. Okay, let's get here. All of us, I think we up to here we can all relate. Playing cricket is very natural. We don't feel the pain. We are naturally, we can put that hard work over there, right? But now what happens is a lot of times we also hear the other perspective. You know what? You need to love your job, enjoy what you're doing. Keep hearing all these things, right? How do we get from here to there? If it was cricket, maybe if I'm part of this Indian cricket team, I would have become this I love my job kind of a thing. That I can't get that because only 11 people or maybe some 15 people in the entire country get to that opportunity. I can't become a cricketer, dude, right? So a lot of what happens is all of us will be like, cricket I used to love, I can't become a cricketer. So, okay, let me find some job. Money is money, job is job. I'll have to find something. Hobby is hobby. And maybe if time is there, I'll play cricket or whatever, right? We divide our life into this manner, right? I tell you one thing, guys. If you carefully observe, it is not cricket which is making you love it. It is your fundamental quality, some fundamental quality which is actually making you love it. What if you are not born in India? What if you are not born in a place which is offering you cricket as an option? What if you were playing some baseball or some karate or whatever, right? Not karate, maybe some other sport. What if you're not born over there? Do you think still you love cricket only?
No.
Not that, right? So what you can do is go and ask yourself, okay, I love cricket. Why did I love cricket as a child? In cricket, I loved bowling. I loved bowling, therefore I want to play cricket. Okay, fine. Why did I love bowling? So that every ball I bowl, I can change the way I'm bowling and I can out the batsman in a new way. It feels very exciting that I can change the way I'm bowling. Okay, why do I like changing things and why I'm liking that? Maybe I'm a person who doesn't enjoy something which is routinely done in the same way, and I'm a person who wants something very dynamic. Why is that I like something very dynamic? You don't have an answer. You say, no, I don't know. I just love something being very dynamic. Right? So this thing about you loving something which changes every time you do it becomes your fundamental quality. Note this down, guys. You got it? Now, this quality doesn't have to have only cricket, right? This can be applied multiple other places, right? That quality that which you have, saying that you being able to enjoy it in a different way every time you do it is something which is making you love cricket because that was available in cricket. If it was available in baseball, you would have loved that. If it was available in what is that, goalie, I don't know, whatever that is called, you would have loved that, right? That match did not happen, therefore you don't know about it. But ask this question: what if that quality of yours, which you naturally were very good at doing, had a match with one of the career options sitting out there? You would literally also sit in the sun doing that job as well. You got it?
Yeah.
That is how you find something which you absolutely love, not the other way around. Not loving what you are trying to do forcibly.
Enjoy.
Right? It's not that, okay, I have to do this job. Some IT job is there, I have to do. I have to love it. I'm loving it. Come on, I love it. No, that's not the way it works, right? Have you identified what your fundamental qualities are? And have you understood whether you can apply those fundamental qualities in whatever job you're selecting right now? Let us talk about UX design, right? Here you've seen today that if at all you are having these fundamental ideas about, hey, why like this? Why not this? How many of you watched that What If in that Hotstar? right? Maybe you have at least seen the title, right? How many of you keep thinking, what if this, what if that, especially with your siblings, right? They tell you something and you are like, what if this happens? What if someone kidnaps you? If you are a person who can keep relating about thinking like this, right? Understand why you are behaving like that. And if your fundamental quality is that I keep thinking about alternatives, I keep thinking about what you can be done in a better way, then if you are such a person, you relate that fundamental quality because it's absolutely useful in UX design, or else you can't move forward. And therefore, when you actually practice UX design, you'll absolutely love it. Because every time you think, what if a new idea is coming, a new way of doing stuff is coming, it is benefiting people and you're getting value in return. Right? It's like you're playing, you're doing bowling and it's working out. Every over one person is getting out. Your team will give so much value to you, right? They want every year Gopi-chan, we need Gopi-chan. We'll give maximum hours to Gopi-chan, and therefore we'll, they give value to you. Without you, they don't want to play, right? The same way, they're giving value because you love it so much. It's so natural to you. It's not that you put so much of hard work to become good and then they are giving you value. It's not like that, right? The same thing can happen with your career itself. It comes to an extent that it also becomes so easy for you, no natural for you, but you're always doing it because you love it so much, because your fundamental qualities are being engaged. Right? Get this, guys. So coming back to your question about visual design, UX design, and all these things, for any of these fields, go and understand. If I see a job description, all of you please understand this. If I see a job description, okay, all these things which are there in this job description, go and ask all the fundamental qualities you think are required to go and do that. If you don't have an answer, go and ask people like me. Hey, here it says prototyping and all. Can you tell me what is that fundamentally a skill which is required to be good at prototyping? Wireframes are. Okay, I'll understand what wireframes is, but what are the fundamental qualities which are required to go and understand to be good at drawing wireframes? Let's say a person like me will answer, you know what, if you are a person who doesn't care about creating that absolute wonderful drawings and all this on a poster, but you just want to draw with the rough sketches and then make it better. If you are a person who thinks like that, then yes, you are fit for doing wireframe. But no. Every time I draw, it should be a masterpiece. It should be a Picasso. If you are thinking like that, then you are not fit for doing this, right? So in this manner, go and do and understand what are the fundamental qualities required in the job description. If it is for you, go and pursue it. If it is not for you, don't go. Right? Because if it is for you, you will become valuable and people will pay you. If it is not for you, people will not pay you because you can't generate value. People cannot force you to do good bowling. You have to practice thousands of times to draw. Like I had some problems, right? Thousands of times I had to practice. Bowling was the bad part for me. Okay, to actually go and just get the ball in line. Forget about everything else. Right? Some people are naturally throwing it in line. No, I don't want to put so much effort trying to become something normal. Right? I want to create value. So I'll find something else where I can create value, which was fielding for me. They used to call me Auntie Roads, but that's a different story. Okay. Yep. I think it kind of answers your question, giving a right perspective to you. Okay. Do this, Gopi-chan, do this exercise for yourself, and you'll really figure out what is something which is really for you or not. And then go and then the next part is, okay, I understood, Anudeep. Absolutely, this is for me. What do I do? How will they hire me? Proof. How can you prove that you are someone who can make wireframes? Because you are naturally good at it, how can you prove? You have to show some examples. You need to have some projects in your portfolio, right? Because without proving, I can't literally say, hey, I've done my fundamental qualities exercise. This is my exercise sheet. Please select me. It won't work like that, right? You have to prove it to me, right? So you have to work on it. If proof doesn't exist, you have to work on it. You have to understand the direction, work on it, and then show me the proof. And if I understand from the proof that you are someone who naturally engages in that manner, absolute fit, I'll take you, right? And that's exactly what happens in hiring. Okay, so we'll get back to all those things, but I hope this answers your question, Gopi-chan, right? Awesome. That smile on your face literally tells how much perspective change happens, right? Awesome, great. Next. Avnish Gupta says, bomb of the question, no question will remain unanswered, yeah? Someone was like, okay. Now people are thinking of, I'll ask a question to Anudeep so that he'll feel very uncomfortable to answer, right? Don't worry. Sometimes I become a Baba. Like some, Babas can answer any question, right? Whatever question you ask, they can answer. The me, anyway, I don't want to anyway, okay.
Yeah, one thing, Andeep. Yeah, actually, we have seen like as a CSC graduate, we have seen like coding interviews are there after technical round. How the hiring process of UX designer?
Sorry, what? How is?
Hiring process of a designer, right? Designer. Like we have seen CST people use it to like code. They have interviews for 2 or 4 rounds. Like how it comes.
I'll tell you. First of all, if you have to prove yourself as a person who can be selected as UX designer, what you need to do is you need to show UX design projects in your portfolio. Okay, so I'll tell you what happens in UX design interview. They'll try and test your UX design perspectives first, UX design basic knowledge first, and then what is that you have done in your previous projects and how did you apply that knowledge. Okay, so all these things happen literally based on the projects which you have done at your level. Let's say it's your first job. You literally need to have some sample projects which you have done where you exhibited your own skills of solving a problem. Okay, so generally people usually have 2 or 3 good projects, good problems which they have solved, not the real ones which have been delivered and all that, because nobody else is there, it's only you. But though they are dummy projects, they exhibit a very good kind of thinking from their own side and present it in their portfolio. And a lot of discussion literally happens in this portfolio about how did they do those decisions, what research did they do, how did they make those prototypes, whom did they test with, how much are they confident that they will work or not, how did they get those ideas, what did they refer to it, right? What fundamentals did they already have? All these questions are asked based on the projects they do and show in their portfolio, right? That's the secret. That is how UX designers get selected. A lot of people get selected. I mentor a lot of people, and this is literally what I do in my mentorship and all. I don't want to make it a pitch and all, but when I mentor people, this is what I make them do. They start from ground zero. They understand the right perspectives of doing multiple projects. They do these projects in a couple of months' time. They have these projects and they start applying to the companies, right? But this is the norm about being selected as a UX designer in the beginning. Later, your own company work. What is that you have done previously? Portfolio is what matters. In UX design, we don't have these DSA test and all these things. It's not like that, right? It's a little different. You'll have to prove how is it you have executed, because you can be excellent at telling design theory that, hey, by Hicks law, I can say that this has to be this, or by the reverse algorithm of this, I can prove that, but doesn't mean anything. If at all you have not used your common sense and delivered a product to your user, which is working, until unless that is done, it doesn't mean anything, right? So a lot of times interviews are about the right perspectives. That's why I stress so much on this. You might say, Anudeep, then why are people getting rejected? It's just because they don't have this perspective. That's what literally is like. I feel like, yeah, I'm able to do it. If I am able to do it, very insignificant me, I'm able to do it just because I have the right perspectives. Not that I have the entire knowledge of UX design. There's so many super people in UX design, but if I'm able to do it and generate value, why not you guys? Just have the right perspectives. That's it. Don't cling on to those artificial things. Everyone is saying if you have card sorting, then you will get a UX design job. Therefore, I'll do card sorting. That is what is making people, right? Just like, maybe, I don't know how to tell it in computer science terms, but people are saying if I don't know, I don't think there is a relation here. It might work differently here, because let us say some kind of algorithms or it might work in your field, but here it's not like if only if I do card sorting they'll select me. It's not like that. You need to know when exactly to apply card sorting, why, when to use it, when not to use it. That's it, right? That's more important than doing a card sorting and having it and then only get selected. It's not like that.
Hello.
Yes, Amanish.
Yeah, Aman had a question. If he wants to get some more workshop from you, so how can he get it?
Yes, as I said, I mentor people, and I have programs through which people can get my mentorship, where I start with a design thinking project, then then people do research based project, and then they do prototyping based end-to-end projects. They do 3 projects where I mentor. I take calls every week, and there are a lot of stuff which is there's a video content, there is practical workbooks content, a lot of workbooks which I myself have written so that people can do, and there's a community where people can come ask questions. I'm so active in that, keep doing that, and people also chat with me individually and all these things. So it's a proper mentorship kind of a camp which I keep engaging myself in. I will share the details separately with the organizers. If anyone is interested, they can always ping me. As I said, I don't want to make this a marketing pitch or something, but if people are genuinely interested, people can join some program like that. And if you really want to learn, okay. But one thing I can definitely be very proud of myself is I'm not an artificial person. Anything I speak with proper fundamentals and the ground basics. If you are such person who wants to be taught in that manner, absolutely come with me. But if you want artificial stuff, or if this is not your way, you just need those simple, yeah, in 3 clicks, tell me exactly how to draw a rectangle, then don't come to me. If you want to know the right perspectives about why to draw a rectangle, how to draw a rectangle, and even think like a UX designer of Figma itself, then come to me. Right?
Yeah, one thing, Anudeep. Yeah, I have seen LinkedIn, like the people use like a lot of tools, right? Like After Effects, like Photoshop. They required for the designer to learn these tools like Photoshop or After Effects.
Depends on what kind of designer you want to become. If you want to become a UX designer, if you have seen everything or what we have done, we are not creating videos, we are not trying to edit photos, so therefore we are not using those tools. But let us say, let me add a perspective to here. But let us say, I'll tell you why the non-textbook approach is very important. I'll tell you why. Let us say when you're creating an experience, you have to show a video to your users. Let us say, and actually there is no one else to actually go and edit that video for you. You should be that non-textbook person who should quickly figure out how can I edit a video and put it over there so that it can deliver an experience to your users. Maybe you'll not even learn After Effects, or you'll learn Premiere Pro or whatever to do it. You'll just maybe use KineMaster and get a video over there, or whatever to, right? But that smartness, that street smartness, do you really have it? Is something we'll have to understand to go and deliver an experience to the user. That's the heart of it. Not being able to already know After Effects is all these things, right? As UX designers, no, we don't need to learn. Generally, you don't need to learn video editing softwares or photo editing software and all these things.
It's just about problem solving.
Problem solving, and because today's business problems are being solved through these interfaces, the mobile interfaces, apps, desktop interfaces, most problems are being solved and most business is happening there. A lot of UX designers are designing apps and websites and all these things. If tomorrow business shifts to something else, let's say AR and VR, all the UX designers will do that. You got it? Because businesses are putting their money over there, they need better experiences, and therefore designers are going and doing it and impacting those businesses. Right? Awesome. Okay, Aman says, what is the significance of courses in design field? Is it important to do some course to get a design job, and which courses do you good to learn in design and all these things? Okay. Obviously, see, courses can always help, but there are textbook courses and there are non-textbook courses. Textbook courses, if they want to teach you Figma, they'll teach you like this. Please open by clicking File, drop down, and then the third option is rectangle. Please click that. After that, draw a rectangle in this manner. They'll teach you like this. Okay. Are you a person who wants to learn like this? Because tomorrow when the third option becomes fourth option, you are done for life. Right? There are textbook courses, there are non-textbook courses, which means it's not about exactly where exactly is that rectangle there. They'll teach you about how to find that option by yourself. Because today you'll learn how to draw a rectangle, maybe oval, but later you have to draw a pentagon. You'll again go to that course and ask how to draw a pentagon. In that way, they have to watch 1,000 videos, 2,000 videos each to learn every small thing which is there in the tool, and then you're still not done, right? But if I teach you a way, in the same way, how can you draw a pentagon, hexagon, or draw an ice cream out of it as well? You got it? If you can do it yourself, if I'm teaching how to do it yourself, that you don't have to rely back on the course, that is a non-textbook course. And that's the kind of a course you have to go and learn, right? So courses are important. It's not that you don't have to have a course. Of course, if non-textbook approach is very natural to you, don't even need courses. Google searches also can teach you stuff. It's just that obviously there will be a proper direction in which direction you have to go and stick to the non-textbook approach. That's it. right? That's why a better way to learn UX design is have a mentor and start learning in a very non-textbook manner, not have a very fixed course or whatever. Let us say you want to learn this tool, just figure out how to do things in that tool, because aiming something which you want to learn, right? Instead of exactly being a part of a big course which will start things from A, and until you come to the Z, you will not learn it, instead of going to a very textbook course. Find stuff in a very non-textbook manner, but have a mentor who can guide you in the proper direction according to your situation. Because formulas do not work in UX design. Simple. I have done this. Whatever Gopi Chanda has done, I will do. Whatever Nishant has done, I will do. I will become successful in UX design. No, it doesn't work. Because UX design is not that field. It is about you and how you will solve that problem. You will get an idea. Let us say you are working in Figma. You will get an idea that no, rectangle will not use that tool to drag and drop like that. We'll use that drawing a rectangle with the mouse, and then rectangle is generated. If you have designed it that way, and if you can prove that users are easy doing it that manner, that will be the future in Figma. It is dependent on the people who are actually designing the software and their perspectives they are bringing and the testing they are doing. It doesn't work because everyone comes and applies formulas over here. It doesn't work like that. Products cannot be created in that manner. Got it? Okay, Aman, do you get the perspective? Are you there, Aman? Right?
We got.
Okay, one more thing I'll tell you, Aman. Courses, camps, all these things, never do them for certificates. Certificates are bullshit.
Yeah.
I hope I'm free to use these kind of words. Certificates are bullshit. It is not about the certificate. Don't go and show a certificate and say, hey, you know what? I'm a certified UX designer. I did 1 2 days workshop. I'm putting this certificate, so go and hire me. No, bullshit. Forget 2 days, 3 months, 1 year. A certificate is not what matters. It is you that matter. Are you a certificate? Are you a living certificate? That means, can I trust you as a person who can actually come and do it? Not your certificate trying and saying that. Do you show it in your projects? Do you have proof that you can solve similar problems when you come to my company? Show that proof to me. Your certificate is a paper or telling that you have completed a course. It doesn't make sense. Thousands of people who pay can actually do those courses. Does it mean they can actually go and implement something? No. You got it? So don't do courses for the sake of certificates you'll get in the end. Do them if you want to get the right perspectives, and so that you can go and implement it and show and become a living certificate. Right? The execution, what you do, is what the certificate which you present, and show those proofs. For them you do. Right? Got it, Aman? Awesome. There's some GDSC IIIT Surat asking why Amazon haven't changed its UI since a long time. Does that UI so great for Amazon doesn't like to change it intentionally? I'll tell you one. I'll ask you one simple question, Mr. IIIT Surat. Who is the IIIT Surat? Is it Mr. IIIT Surat or whatever?
He's Suraj. He's the lead.
Suraj, okay. So it's a very simple question, right? Go to your switchboard and ask a question. Why should you change the look and feel of a switchboard when it is already working wonderfully? When your mother, grandmother's grandmother also can identify that it's a switch, right? Why do you want to make it so many changes so that your grandmother cannot identify anymore that it's a switch, right? A very similar answer. Not that Amazon's UI is not changing. Amazon's UI has changed a lot of times, right?
It's improving.
Yes. Are not something like tomorrow you open and everything is changed. No, that's not how products are made. Because you don't want to bewilder existing users who are already used to a lot of patterns, right? Because you don't want to harm their experience. You don't want to suddenly introduce a high learning curve and say, yaar, kya ho raha yaar? Small icon changes, logo changes, everyone immediately resists. All of you know why? Suddenly LinkedIn changed its UI. A lot of people resisted. You know why? It was a small change only. Because people are used to some things. Because people have learned some patterns of how they want to behave, right? How they want to understand, scan and see and understand. They've learned some patterns. Suddenly, if those things change, it takes one more effort to go and learn them, relearn them, right? And therefore, drastic UI changes are not done. Not just Amazon. A lot of places it's not done. And even if it is done, there is usually a lot of high rejection which happens. And slowly people will learn. That's a different ball game altogether, right? But changes do happen. All those micro changes always constantly happen. Why do you think all of us are getting paid, right? all those small changes which are happening, making the experience small experiences better in a very micro manner, right? Small text changes, a lot of things, a lot of people will understand. Small color changes, a lot of people will understand. Small layout change, a lot of people better understand. In this manner, each and every change is done understanding feedback, understanding how people are able to use it, not use it, all these things they understand and then make these changes. You got it?
Yeah, Anudeep.
Got it, Suraj? Mr. Triple IT Suraj?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So seems like we do not have any more questions.
Yeah, Anudeep. Yeah, one thing.
Hello. Who said shouted, Anudeep? Go ahead, ask question.
Yeah, actually, design degree is important. Actually, you have seen that like we have the design degree. It's really important for the people. Design degree. Actually, we have seen companies.
The same thing about certificate, right? If you want to go with the degree, and hey, I'll do a degree, and I'll use a degree to go and get a job, to become a designer. I'll use it. Let's say Triple IT Surat is there, man. Okay. If you want to go and utilize Triple IT Surat just for the brand of it, okay, and get a job. Hey, you know what? I'm a Triple IT Suratian or whatever it is you want to call yourself, right? I was a BITS Pilani student, okay? If let's say I want to utilize, hey, you know, I'm a BITS Pilani guy, right? Therefore, give me a job. That's the most bullshit ever thing which I can do. Because in Telugu, we have a saying, I don't know if someone has to translate it. Ma tatal netul tagaru na. So I don't know how to translate in Hindi or whatever, saying that my grandfather drank ghee, so therefore please smell my mouth. It's very bad when I come to English, but it's like that. Just because Triple IT got its name for somewhere, please see that and judge me. Where is individuality in it? Why should they trust you? Right? It doesn't prove anything. What is that you really offer? Forget Triple IT. What is that you really offer is what really matters. Or else you still get a job. You still do those places who only hire you based on these factors. They don't care about you being an individual or you bringing a unique talent to the team. They want that talent pool where they need some minimum standards. It's okay for all those highs and lows. It doesn't matter. All of them, they have to do that formula job, sit and do those formula work, and I have to behave only like that. Where your individuality cannot be proven, and you will be literally, a lot of people, a lot of seniors will be hearing, no, dude, I'm just done with this, dude. I don't even know why I got here, right? You keep hearing these things, right? You'll get into those places if you only utilize these certificates and degrees. But if you want to utilize them in a very good manner, a degree is very useful. A college is more useful, actually more than the degree. All of you also agree, right?
Yeah.
More than the engineering degree that which you can get from some Baba Institute of Technology as well, or whatever it's called here. But anyway, instead of get a degree from that also, more than the degree, the college, the kind of exposure you're getting with the interacting with the people around and all these things are really helping you more than that, right? So in the same manner, the college will definitely help you if you utilize those things and become a more valuable person. It provides a good platform that is there. But is it absolutely necessary or else I don't get a job? It's not like that. You can utilize Discord communities and get that thing. You can go to a lot of multiple forums and get those perspectives. You can attend these kind of workshops and also get those perspectives. It's not so. How is that you are smart and getting those perspectives and becoming better is something more important rather than relying on the formula sources. You can utilize it well, absolutely. Go and do those degrees, right? But I don't have a design degree. I've done my. I was an MSc chemistry graduate and a mechanical engineer. It's a very strange degree. I don't even remember neutralization reaction. Maybe you will remember because you are in engineering right now. That's how much of a master's in chemistry I have done. But like this anyway, like these weeks there. But anyway, coming back, it absolutely did not matter. A lot of people ask me, hey, you're MSc chemistry, then why did you become a designer? Why are you doing injustice to your own field? I said, dude, I've done injustice to myself by going and doing engineering. I was a designer. I would have continued and realized and understood and become a designer. Instead, I deviated and become an engineer, which was an injustice to myself. I corrected it back. You have not corrected it even now. you are doing bigger injustice. Stop calling it injustice just because I ended up doing some mechanical engineering and expecting me to become a mechanical engineer just because I'm doing that degree. Now, how come suddenly a degree is defining what I am? I corrected myself. You correct yourself. Right? So I am the one who is doing real justice to myself. Got it? So please answer this question. If anyone asks you about this, you are that engineer, why are you doing this? Just answer the same question. Okay.
Actually, I am also a software engineer working in some companies. Yeah, actually, I have seen in LinkedIn a lot of. That's why I came to this workshop.
Totally.
I want to transfer into engineer to designer. I'm working in a company, so I don't want load in my brain. I love design. That's why I attended this workshop.
Awesome.
That's why I have so many doubts. Being a software engineer, we should code only. Nothing. Some people do like you some design to you, and you have to code that one. I want to be the problem solver. I want to be the designer, and I have to know how it comes. Like I'm changing to engineer design. It takes some time.
You should try, man. You should absolutely try. Okay, definitely. Awesome. Anyone else?
Seems like we don't have no questions now.
Yes, Anish is like,
we have answered all.
Allow people to have dinner, pee, party, and all these things. So,
yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Many of us will be leaving.
Awesome. So, thank you very much, guys. I hope you loved this session. As I said, if anyone wants to be in touch, I'll share the details with the organizers. You can always get in touch, and if you want to explore anything further, please get the right perspectives. Don't go to the artificial things, do it in the right manner, and please do justice to your own lives. Whether you become UX designer or not is the next thing. Just do justice to yourself. Okay.
Thanks.
One last thing. Like for the first time, we got to know from our own sources that even director is watching the whole workshop since the very beginning.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thanks to him too. And I would like to invite Suraj for the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
And then it will be the fall of the curtain.
Thank you, Anish. Yeah, it's been a great session. People have been somewhat exhausted as of now.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, we
not their fault. Not their fault. Nothing to worry.
Yeah, I think it's our longest ever session we have conducted so far.
I understand totally. See, basically, I'm a great fan of offline sessions where I can literally engage people more. But this happens. Awesome.
If this would be a offline session, it would be more beneficial and more interactive for people joining. Yeah, yeah, it's a great achievement for us. We have crossed the mark of 100 participants in this only session. I would like to thank you for giving some time to our people of IIIT Surat, SUNIT, and people from the other colleges. I hope they got some perspective of the UI UX. Perfect. That the motto of our workshop is perspective of UI UX. I'm sure they'll get it. Thank you, Anudeep sir, for joining us and blessing our people for your words. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thanks, sir. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend.
Sure.
Yeah. Bye. Enjoy the
Yep. So thank you, IIIT Surat, for this opportunity. The reason I'm thanking you is mainly because I always have this feeling, because I relate. If I can do it, a lot of people can do it. All they need is the right perspectives. So I'm desperate to share my perspectives with a lot of people, and I really, really want people to utilize that and have that transformation in their life. That's the most sincere thing. But obviously, I generate value and also get value back in return, right? So I also want all of you to become like that. So for that reason, thanks a lot for calling me, and I absolutely love it. And you have seen that my love over in this session. Therefore, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, even 10 hours, I'll be like this only. And therefore, I'm thanking you for creating the opportunity for me. Yep. So we'll be in touch. I'm sure there'll be a lot of initiatives in the future. We'll stay in touch. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah.
Bye, sir.
Awesome. See you guys. See you then. Yep.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, Manish. Is there any what do you say, RP or anything? Nothing is it, no?
No, like it was in the lower floor. In the perfect.
I'm sure if there's an offline workshop, there will be this closing song. 4 people will come and there were some workshops like that, you know. Just kidding. Okay. No,
awesome. that was a tradition in my school, not in the college.
Yeah, totally. Just kidding. Yeah.
For sure, we are like to have you on our offline workshop also.
Definitely. We'll do that. We'll definitely plan something like that. In offline workshop, I literally almost catch their hair. I'm like, you can become a UX designer.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, man. Guys, awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Oh, bye. Enough.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you guys for joining us. You can leave us now. The session is over. You will get your certificate as soon as possible.
Yeah, but don't forget to complete the assignments. Suraj.
Amish, ask sir to stop that stream.
Yeah, I have asked. Like he has not seen the message till now. I'm even waiting for that. It is still being casted on YouTube. Beware. Before saying any word.
Discord आ जाओ ना Discord.